LLC, member NYSE SIPC.
Lowe's knows when you're looking for reliability, the right brand makes all the difference. And now, Lowe's is the exclusive home improvement retailer for the Whirlpool water treatment line, including their Wi-Fi softener, under-sink filtration system, and more. With Whirlpool's proven performance and our everyday low prices, better tasting, better quality water is within reach. Shop pro-trusted brands like Whirlpool and more, in-store or online. Lowe's, we help, you save.
He steps to the mic with a boom, ping, ping. Wisdom sharper than a beast's fierce sting. Words like fireflies that light the night. He turns the dark into blazing bright. Boom, ping, ping, the truth takes wing. Milwaukee's voice, let the city sing. Boom, ping, ping, hear the freedom ring. Sherwin's the king, oh, the airwaves king. Shake the ground, unveils the truth where lies abound. Politics, justice, social streams. He molds the chaos into dreams. No silence here, just the sound of change. Boom, ping, ping, rearrange. Boom, ping, ping, the truth takes wing. Milwaukee's voice, let the city sing. Boom, ping, ping, hear the freedom ring. Sherwin's the king, or the airwaves king. Through the static, through the noise, he amplifies the people's voice. Boom, ping, ping, like a heartbeat's call. He's got the wisdom to break down walls. Yeah. Da, 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 da.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. Today is Friday, August 8th, 2025. It was probably on a previous show, or it was something I might have seen on social media where someone remarked that we need a military presence here in the city of Milwaukee. They had remarked that we need the National Guard here, and I vehemently disagreed with them. And so there's a story that reminded me of whatever that comment was. And, Trump said that he was going to, bring the military to these blue American cities to get law and order. I think what he meant is he was going to dispatch the military to help with his deportation policy, but to get, I guess, more people in support of that, because people are weary of crime, especially if you live in a suburban area or a rural area and things force you to go to the city. Because I know there's a lot of folks that may live in outstate Wisconsin and their favorite musical act or artist comes to Wisconsin, but they don't go to rural areas. Big name acts don't go to Ashwaubenon. They come to Milwaukee. And quite honestly, I empathize with those folks who live somewhere else, who are far removed from the city of Milwaukee and our urban culture here. And then they have to come here and they're afraid of the city because of what they read. Now, here's the thing. I also know that those folks have been inundated with sensationalized negative headlines about the city of Milwaukee. Those people, if they do read about what's going on in the city of Milwaukee, if they read our local journalism or through different television channels, I suppose they watch Milwaukee news, they're not really sticking around for the stories of volunteerism and the different successful community events and endeavors they have. They want to know about the murders. And that's what they hear. And plus, there's a racial component to it as well. I fundamentally believe that white people think that black people are inherently more violent. I really believe that. Through no fault of their own, quite honestly, because I think they are told that. so that they stay far away from us, because if we all happen to come together, well, then we all could challenge the people and the institutions that are harming all of us, but that's another conversation. So you have someone who lives far away, and they want to go see, who do the whites listen to these days? Sabrina Carpenter, Morgan Wallen, whoever they listen to. I don't know who they listen to these days. I don't know. But if you live in Manitowoc or Wausau and Morgan Wallen is coming to Wisconsin and you want to go see him, but he's coming to Milwaukee. And those folks are afraid. They're like, oh, no, I want to go see Morgan Wallen or Sabrina Carpenter. Isn't Sabrina Carpenter just the white people version of like a Sexy Red? She's kind of, you know what I mean? She's kind of sexually explicit, but just a little bit more toned down. Like a Sexy Red that went to like an all-white Catholic school. Like a Sexy Red that went to Pius. Sabrina Carpenter is, because she is overtly sexual too, but whatever. So you have folks that are from other parts of the state that are weary of Milwaukee because they hear about the shootings and the stabbings. And what the Trump campaign did well is they take those stereotypes and those fears that rural, clearly Republican voting conservatives have for urban areas that have diversity and, more importantly, a black political power structure, because it's very easy. It takes no thinking. Like they're preying on people's ignorance, which is sad, but that means that we have a lot of ignorance in our society. And it depends on how I feel and which side of the bed I wake up on. Sometimes if you're a grown adult and you still cling to ignorances that you should have shed in your teens, then you deserve to get taken advantage of because you're dumb. I'm serious. I can't feel sorry for you. You 50-some years old and still believing in completely untrue things, falsehoods, and stereotypes. If you're that dumb and that old, if you got grandkids and you're still that dumb, then we might as well just manipulate you. And Trump feels the exact same way. Why not manipulate dumb people to acquire more power? Because it does not take a lot of effort. But one thing that Trump is able to do is he's able to equate the fear of black people and Democratic leadership and big urban areas as to like creating one gigantic red flag. So when Trump says something like, oh, we're going to send the military in to these blue cities, these Democrat-run cities, then there's a similarity or an understanding that folks from outstate Wisconsin, rural conservative voters understand. Because they sure love the military, don't they? They love the military a lot. And they think to themselves, because they want to go to the Morgan Wallen concert, and they'll say, well, Trump is going to send the military to this big black-run blue city, and then I'm going to be safe. When ultimately, Donald Trump's suggestion of sending the military into cities so that he could round up, his administration could round up migrants from other countries. I said all that to say this. There are legitimate reasons to be afraid in the city of Milwaukee. If you aren't from here, and if you don't know where you're at, and if you don't know the culture of the people, here's what I've found. Here's the best advice. And I think this is universal, because there's certain parts of the city of Milwaukee where you need a hood passport, or I can't guarantee your safety. Like, you need to know somebody, or you need to be there on official business. Like, you need to have something like protecting you, and it's usually who you know or the business that you are taking care of when you're in certain neighborhoods. But here's something that's pretty much universal, because you have some folks that'll come from elsewhere where the culture of their community is different, where they speak to everybody and they say hi to everybody and they walk up to strangers and like, hey, how are you? How's your dog? Don't do that. Don't do that when you come here. We don't care. Don't start random conversations with people you don't know in a neighborhood, in a community you're unfamiliar with. Don't do that. Here's the best advice I can give you, because I want to keep you safe now. Mind your business. Mind your business. Don't stare at anybody too long. Go about your business, walk with confidence, get to where you're going, keep your head on a swivel, of course. Don't look like a victim. You can go and look up YouTube videos of how you can walk and how you can have a posture. It's called a gait. Your gait is how you walk, how you present yourself to the world when you're in locomotion. You can have a certain kind of gait where people will look at you and say, oh, they're not really an easy target because of the confidence that they're walking with. And this goes for men and for women. But for the most part, to keep yourself safe, stop. Don't talk to anybody. And here's the other thing. If you are walking down the sidewalk and you're not from that area, you don't know anybody in that neighborhood, I don't know, maybe you're over there buying dope. I don't know what you're doing. It's none of my business. All I know is that I'm not with you. But you're walking down the sidewalk and you see somebody coming towards you. And let's say you're a white person. You're in town for the Morgan Wallen concert. You want to score a little cocaine. That's all right. That's fine. You're in an undesirable neighborhood where the cocaine gets sold. Really, most cocaine probably gets sold in high-rise condos downtown, but whatever. You're going to try and search the hood to try and find you some blow. All right, that's okay. It happens. And you're walking down the sidewalk, and you see an African-American man also walking towards you on that same sidewalk. I know this is going to go against your natural instinct. Don't cross the street. It's rude, it's disrespectful. And then if you did that, because think about it, you're in the hood to buy cocaine, yet you want to cross the street when you see an African-American walking towards you on the sidewalk in their neighborhood. I would sanction your robbery just to teach you a lesson. So just keep walking on the sidewalk. And if you make eye contact with that person and if they hold your gaze, just speak. Just say hello. Because that disarms people most of the time. If you're walking down the sidewalk, because if you're still walking on the sidewalk, that's going to show that you're not intimidated that this African-American man or woman or boy or girl, that they can't intimidate you. But if you're going to hold their gaze, just hello, how are you? And then but don't stop when you say the hello and how are you. You continue to walk when you say your hello and your how are you. Those rules I just gave you can keep you safe in like 92% of neighborhoods. Now, this is also during the day. Nighttime's a little different. I would not suggest being in certain areas at night at all. There's certain gas stations. Typically, you want to know what gas stations to avoid after, say, 9 p.m. in the summertime? Any gas station that starts with sit and ends with go. Any sit go that you go to might be the last sit go you go to. So I got a story here. Nearly 50 Wisconsin National Guard members return home after a 10-month deployment. And there's a couple of things that happened over the last 24 hours. This egregious crime that is happening right now in the city of Milwaukee. And right now, I'm going to be honest with you. I am supporting mass incarceration 2.0 because if you think that we can do something in the short term by having a conversation about mental health, or maybe these people are just sad and they need someone to talk to, maybe we can get to that point. But right now, we got stone cold killers in the city in which I live, I love, and I work in. Okay? We are not going to have these conversations with these stone cold killers. Oh, did you hear about the 50-something-year-old woman that got jumped by 20 people? Oh, you didn't hear about that? Would you want to sit them kids down and have a conversation with them? Some of these kids are going to get shot by adults defending themselves. And I dare any one of you to have sympathy for a 14, 15, or 16-year-old that takes on the very adult responsibility of trying to hurt, harm, fight, or harass a middle-aged person. Listen to me. Because a 14 or 15-year-old, I told you yesterday that 15% of the homicides in the city of Milwaukee are committed by children. But here's what's crazy. I think that there are some of y'all that will let these kids kill you because you don't even want to defend yourself against the children, because you think that children that are armed, that are out to do harm, that are out to kill you and to rob you, that they just need love. If the baby wants to rob me, I let him rob me. Here's Sherwin's philosophy, and I might be alone in this philosophy, and I am okay with that. If you decide to rob me, your ass ain't a baby no more. You're a grown-ass man. You have become a man very quickly, and now it's incumbent upon me, you understand, to show you what manhood looks like. No. A 50-year-old woman They said 20 or more people. She was beat and also pistol whipped. Now, I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't know the ages of the people that were beating up a 50-year-old woman. I don't know the story. All I know is just the scant details that were reported to first responders. Female subject in her 50s, 20 people beat and pistol whipped this woman. That sounds like some kids. What do you think is supposed to happen to those kids? What do you think? They just need somebody to love them. They can get love in prison. There's a depravity. And here's what's sad, y'all. And I hate to have to say this. You can't save all these kids. Some of them are in home environments that are so messed up, they're never going to recover. Never. And if they do recover, it'll be like in their 30s or their 40s, because they're going to need years, decades of constant discipline and structure and purpose. And we don't have that kind of time to put our effort and our resources into kids that may not make it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't save everybody. And I think that's a woman's mentality about how screwed up our society is. No, we can save all the babies. No, we can't. And let's not fool ourselves into thinking that we can. Now, there's some good kids out there, and I want to save and rescue the good kids who don't want to have anything to do with these damn heathens. Those children we welcome. There's some kids that have the same sentiment as us. They don't want to have any part of this. But it's the bad kids that are the danger and the threat to everybody, that 15% of juveniles who are committing homicides in our city. And it all comes back full circle, because as I'm reading about this National Guard deployment, and they were gone for 10 months in Kuwait, maybe we should station them here in the city of Milwaukee. I'd like to see that same group of kids try and jump members of the armed forces or the U.S. military. I'd like to see how that plays out, because how the military would treat that same group of 20 kids if they decided to jump a member of the National Guard, it's how everybody should treat those kids, assuming that they were children. If they're adults, it's worse. But if they're adults, then we have a system of incarceration that will fit them better. With juveniles, we tend to be a little bit more soft. We have to get them counseling, and we have to have a white lady from Elkhorn talk to them because she's a psychotherapist. I'm going to take a break, come back. Got some details I want to share with you today. Hold on, Ricky. I know we excited, ain't we? You all right, Ricky? You good? We're going to take a break, come back, continue our conversation. You cannot treat some of these kids with kid gloves. If they do adult things, they need to be shown adult responsibility right away. All right. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Tune in to the award-winning 1017 The Truth Black Business Give Back Spotlight this Friday at 3:57 p.m. between The Tory Lowe Show and Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris. I'll be joined by Sensore Irvin, founder and executive director at Resources and Beyond. We will discuss her efforts in creating family stability for people in Milwaukee and why she opened up a community food pantry to provide the necessary resources to those in need in our community. So again, that's the Black Business Give Back Spotlight with Resources and Beyond this Friday at 3:57 p.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Are you or anyone you know looking for a new job opportunity? Attend the City of Milwaukee Job Fair on Thursday, August 14th from noon to 3 p.m. at 2 locations. Visit us at Jackson Park, Picnic Area 2, located at 3500 West Forest Home Avenue, and at the Basilica of St. Josephat, located at 2333 South 6th Street. Vendors from multiple employment sectors will be present to meet with you and share opportunities for hiring, training, upskilling, and more. We will also feature a live DJ, food and refreshments while supplies last. Brought to you by Common Council President Jose G. Perez and Alderwoman Jocasta Zamaripa. Sponsored by City of Milwaukee, Milwaukee Common Council, City of Milwaukee Department of Administration, Office of Community Wellness and Safety, Northcott Neighborhood House, Fathers Making Progress, Northwest Side Community Development Corporation, State of Wisconsin DWD, Ross Innovative Employment Solutions, Goodwill Industries of Southeast Wisconsin, UMOS, DCMKE, 30th Street Corridor, Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Milwaukee, Milwaukee County Parks, Greater Milwaukee Urban League, Maximus, and Amplifier.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
JB's, y'all. Yeah. JB's, y'all.
Oh, yeah. Check this out.
Girl, I'll house you. Girl, I'll house you. Girl, I'll house
I don't know what I'm so happy about. There's something about this song. Reminds me of the good old days in the 90s. Back when we had the original crime bill. I think we need another one. And maybe I was too young, well, I know I was, to understand how responsible adults feel that have followed the rules and done things the right way and don't want to harm anybody else. I think one of the keys to just life is don't hurt anybody. Do your damnedest not to hurt anybody. Don't be intentional in hurting somebody. Sometimes you being you and living your life, there's going to be some folks whose feelings are going to get hurt along the way, but you can't really be concerned about that. But if you go out of your way to intentionally hurt people, you are the problem because you're interrupting our society. Any society that doesn't have some kind of order is going to be in disarray. It seems to me, as I am organizing the thoughts of my youth, that there was some kind of order. There was an adult, there was an elder, there was a system, there was an understanding where there were a handful of rules that you had to follow. Other rules were in a gray area. Other rules were a little bit more flexible. My parents told me to come home at 11 o'clock. That's not a hard rule. Sometimes I get home at 11:10. Then the next time 11:15. But there's other like fixed rules where I had to respect them. I could not talk over an adult. I was required to be honest when I was speaking to an elder. I didn't lie to them, or I try not to get caught if I did lie. But there was just an understanding that didn't have to constantly get reinforced. It was in us. It's instilled in us. If I'm out in public with my friends and my parents are not around, there's a particular way that I am expected to act because I am a representative of my family and of the Hughes last name. And you just kind of understood those things, right? It seems like all of that has eroded, and I can't point fingers and say it was this person's fault or that person's fault. It's easy to blame the music. It's easy to blame, media and television, and it's easy to blame the internet. I think that we as a society have more power and far more influence, or we should, over the behaviors of our children, and the fact that they don't follow order is an upbringing problem. And so I can understand and empathize with people who were my age 30 years ago that saw our society falling because of not just deindustrialization, like that was the precursor, but then everything else that came after that. The hopelessness, the violence, the drive-by shootings, the drug trade, and then you had the influx of people coming from Detroit and Gary and Chicago to Wisconsin to take advantage of and to exploit and commit fraud here in our welfare system, and they brought a culture that Milwaukee was not used to. Like, all of these things play a role. But I can now empathize with someone who was 50 in 1992 or 1993 as they are seeing their society crumble all around them. And let's say they followed the rules, and sometimes it's hard to follow the rules, but you got to stay on the straight and narrow because you don't want to deal with the consequences. Two real types of pain that adults and mature people face. Both are painful. One is dramatically worse than the other. There is the pain of your lack of responsibility and the pain of consequences, and then there's the pain of discipline. I would rather, on any day of the week, take the pain of discipline than the pain of consequences. The pain of discipline is you have a big purchase to make. Maybe you're saving for a home. And if you are saving for a home, go visit our friends at Axe Housing. That's actshousing.org. And a bunch of your friends are going out. They're going to the Morgan Wallen concert, and they're going to get a bunch of cocaine. Man, you wish you could do some cocaine and go to the Morgan Wallen concert, and you really want to go because you love Morgan Wallen very much, and Sabrina Carpenter is opening up for Morgan Wallen. You would love to go to that show. You've been waiting for so long for them to come to Milwaukee. You want to go to that show, but you can't. And you may never see Morgan Wallen and Christina Carpenter ever again. And it hurts that you got to stay home. and watch Netflix by yourself and maybe masturbate. I'm not sure. Maybe you will. I don't know. You want to rub one out, that's fine. At least it's sex with somebody you love. But that hurts to see the world having fun and going out and drinking, doing cocaine, maybe getting a little strange in the porta potty, just a little bit, just a little sample, get somebody strange, a little OPP. But you can't do that, and it hurts, and you're sad, and you go to bed early. That's pain, but that's the pain of discipline. Then there's the pain of consequence. Screw it. I'm going to the Morgan Wallen, Christie and the Carpenter concert, and I'm going to the hood to get me an 8-ball of some cocaine. Yeah, got a pocket full of money, can't tell me nothing. Then you go to the hood, you get robbed, you don't get any cocaine, and they steal your Morgan Wallen and Sabrina Carpenter tickets. That's the pain of consequence. One different than the other. One has you in the ICU and probably criminal charges filed against you because you're trying to buy some cocaine. You lose your Morgan Wallen and Christie and the Carpenter tickets. And then the other set of pain that you feel by not going out, by staying home and being disciplined, is you masturbated and went to bed at 9:30. Simple as that. Somewhere along the way, the pain of discipline has been traded for the pain that comes with consequence. And maybe I'm over-exaggerating things, but then there's another story here that it's like every day it's something. And y'all got to know, so I've been around, 50 laps around the sun, that's cool. But I've been reporting on stuff in this city for like 15 years. So I've seen lots of stuff. That's a lot of summers where there's been a lot of violence. Did you hear about this one? Milwaukee auto shop owner shot by a customer. I'm just going to read it to you. I'm not even going to try and editorialize this. I just want you all to hear this. An angry customer leaves a Milwaukee auto shop owner seriously injured. Investigators say he was upset about his car when he started shooting. At Divine Auto Shop, employees are used to doing quick repairs. When a customer walked in on Friday, August 1st, asking about his Kia Soul, they never expected any of this. Family of the victim tells Fox 6 that the car was brought in for a steering column repair the day before, which is not unusual for a Kia Soul. Somebody probably tried to steal it. They say the man became upset because they weren't working fast enough on his car. Okay? The customer is seen shoving the shop owner. When he walks toward him, the customer pulls out a gun and starts shooting at point-blank range, even firing at the victim while he's on the ground. He continued to shoot as he ran from the scene. Oh. You got business owners now? This is an auto repair shop. Customer comes in angry. They're not working on his car fast enough. The customer starts shooting at one of the repair people at the auto shop. So, okay, guys, for those of you that have this sympathy, like, well, we can't just put everybody in jail. We got to talk to him. What you going to say to him? That's a level of depravity that I don't want in my society. That's a level of depravity that, give him to Russia. He shouldn't even be in an American jail. You know how hard people are working when they own small businesses? And this is insane because the shooter, who was a disgruntled customer because they weren't working on his Kia Soul fast. It's a Kia Soul! Why would you even buy one of those? Because you have no soul? They clearly know who the gunman is because he left his car at the repair shop. So they have that person's information. And he just runs away and just leaves his car there. Now, thankfully, the owner of the repair shop isn't dead. But when I see stuff like that, like imagine if you're just another customer in that auto repair shop and you see another customer come in and start shooting, like the number of people's lives that were in jeopardy because of this, like this is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. And if we have to do mass incarceration 2.0, because that individual with that depraved mind that will shoot at someone because they're not working on their car fast enough, Now, I'm not going to make any judgments about the race because I'm going to stay objective and stay on the facts in the article because they don't say the race of any of the people. But if I was a white business owner and I read this story, I may not want a black customer, and I can't even blame that white person for that. And I know that we tell white people, don't be racist, judge everybody as an individual. Yeah, sometimes if you judge people as an individual, you misjudge and they may shoot at you because you didn't fix their Kia so fast enough. All right, I got to take a break. I need a sip of water. I'm incensed. I really am. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 FM. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
How much does it cost to talk to Gruber Law Offices after a serious crash? It's free. Yes, free. As in, it won't cost you anything to speak with us. Not sure if you have a case? Call our team at Gruber Law Offices today. Your first call and your first consultation are always free. And you'll never pay us a fee until we win your case. If you've been seriously injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Escape the city and relax at Lake Lawn Resort in beautiful Delavan, Wisconsin. Enjoy outdoor activities on Delavan Lake. Tee off at the Lakeside Majestic Oaks Golf Course or unwind at the award-winning Calidora Spa. With both indoor and outdoor pools, there's fun for the whole family. Take a cruise on the Lake Lawn Queen. Explore stunning shores and historic landmarks. And enjoy delicious food and drinks on board. Book your stay today at lakelawnresort.com, where everything is better at the lake.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Here is Kyle Wallace with his truth.
Truth Nation, I guess I've officially graduated from big bro to unk status, at least according to my little cousin. That's what he said. Now, at first I pushed back a little bit, and I was offended by the assertion that I was old enough to be unk. But after a little thought, y'all, I actually embraced the label of being unk and the responsibility which comes with being quote-unquote unk. See, as unk, I think it's my duty to look out for and support the youth and young cats coming up after me. Embrace the role as being a mentor and role model and aim to protect our kids at all costs. With the news cycle always seemingly being negative towards the youth, we need to take it back upon ourselves to change the narrative and uplift our youth. Our kids are so much more than fights, stolen cars, Kia boys, or acting a fool in public. We can't allow a small population of children to depict who our kids really are in the city of Milwaukee. You have to resist the urge to want to bash our kids and be so quick to pass judgment or disparage the youth. And we gotta stop acting as if we were not once in their shoes, making poor decisions, having regrets. I know we have all been there. Now, regardless of how funny it may sound to say YN, don't label our kids that. That is far from a term of endearment, and we have to remember you become what people call you. If someone calls you dumb over and over and over again, you may start believing that you are dumb, and you may start having self-doubt in oneself. Don't put that type of self-hating energy on our youth, Milwaukee. We need to call them YKs and YQs for young kings and young queens, even when they might frustrate you. Remember, they are still only kids. With the summer being here, there is no better time to encourage them to aspire to be great. Give them positive reinforcement. Give them positive affirmation until we get it through their minds on who they really are and what they can become. An unstoppable force of greatness.
Listen to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace weekdays from noon to 1 p.m. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I don't care what race somebody is. If they commit a heinous crime that threatens people's lives, takes people's lives, or jeopardizes other people's lives, I don't care. If you do that, there's a place for you, and it's incarceration. Now, yesterday I went over the billions of dollars that we spend on incarceration, and I don't believe that it makes us safe. And maybe that's not the point. We just have to get rid of certain people in our society. Now, we can't kill them. I am still against the death penalty now. I will stand firm on that. But what I don't want is for for a black person, and I don't know what happened at this car repair shop, but I'm disgusted by that. As someone who has spent plenty of time in auto repair shops, and absolutely I have been frustrated with, oh, we're sorry, Mr. Hughes, the part isn't in yet. We're sorry, Mr. Hughes, we're going to need your vehicle another night. Like, that's devastating news sometimes, especially before we had these ride-sharing services. Having your car in the shop for a couple of days back before there was Uber was a whole different ballgame. And I've been very frustrated before. Or, oh, we're sorry, Mr. Hughes, we quoted you at $119, but, we had to get this bolt off, and that was another 10 hours of labor, and now it's going to cost you $732. And guess what? You got to pay it. I've been frustrated before. Never thought to pull out a weapon and shoot the person that gave me that news about my car. I'll be frustrated. I might have a couple of choice words, but I'm going to pay the bill. And if I don't like the service that I received, I just won't go back to that shop anymore. I'm not going to try and solve the problem by shooting somebody. And if we have a bunch of stories like this where people are doing like this reckless, depraved harm to innocent people, okay? That guy didn't do anything, but he didn't fix the Kia Soul fast enough. And it's a Kia Soul. Now they're going to catch you. You're going to have attempted murder. You probably have some priors. You're probably a felon with that gun. You're going to do life in prison because they didn't fix the steering column on your Kia Soul fast enough. And if we have a bunch of situations like that where it's just random, reckless, depraved violence, and if it's a bunch of black people doing it, lock them up. If it's a bunch of white people doing it, lock them up. If it's a bunch of Asians doing it, lock them up. If it's a bunch of biracial people doing it, lock them up. But what we're not going to do 30 years from now is say, boy, oh boy, that sure was a racist incarceration system they had back in 2025. If any of you are listening 30 years in the future, my shows are telling you how frustrated we are right now with this damn crime. So when somebody 30 years from now is like, oh my God, so many black men were locked up in the 2025 era. Why is that? Listen to my show. I'm telling you why. Get rid of those people. I want to be able to walk down the street without fearing anything. I want to be able to walk down the street partially nude and not have to worry about being touched by a pervert. Let's talk to. Hello, Eddie. How are you?
Hi, Sharon. How you doing this morning, man?
Doing okay. What's on your mind?
Hey, you were talking about Trump earlier and some of the things he was saying or some. Do you think Trump is coming up with these ideas, or his advisors or whatever his supporting staff is, as far as the sending the troops in, the blue states, the Democrats, these arguments or these ideas that he come up? Because if he's coming up with these ideas himself, then he can't be too dumb. You know what I'm saying? We use the word dumb and stupid, not you all the time, but a lot of people use those terms with Trump, but yet he's coming up with these different ideas to either put fear in you or to maneuver something to change it.
It's dumb for a president to think that the men and women of the armed services should be involved in domestic law enforcement. It is dumb for a president. So when I say he's dumb, he doesn't know the roles and responsibilities of the executive, but he is the executive. We don't use the military for domestic law enforcement. What he is doing is he is taking advantage of other people's fears, but I also think that Donald Trump legitimately believes that the military should be patrolling U.S. streets. I think he actually believes that. And if he has advisors that tell him that that's not how it works, he would just fire those advisors and replace them with people that would agree with even his worst impulses. Because for a president, that's dumb. For any other person who doesn't know how stuff works, they may think, oh, yeah, we can use the military to patrol American cities. But for a president, we have we used to have a higher standard for intelligence and understanding of policy and how the military works and how law enforcement works. But with Trump, we just accept him being dumb.
I got another question for you. Is it ever a possibility, I know you and Tori and Dr. Ken work for the same station. Will it ever be a possibility that y'all will have a debate or as far as on some of the subjects that come up and the issues. And the reason why I say this is because, you're a pretty powerful person. You're knowledgeable. You know what you're doing. You know how things work. And a lot of people listen to you now, I guess because you have a way of a person trusts you. I guess that's the best thing to say is a person trusts you. Not saying that a person shouldn't check out what you're saying or do their due diligence. I think I did that in the school board race. You were promoting someone, and then I heard another person say something different. And I'm not blaming you for who I vote for, but maybe I should have did a little more due diligent research on the candidate that you were supporting for
always
the school board.
Probably DPI, Department of Public Instruction.
The lady. And some people said some things, but people say things about anyone. But sometimes some of your other hosts, your associates, they talk about things just like when Trump was running for president.
Eddie, hold on, Eddie. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Those are grown men with their own shows, their own times. But to answer your question, yes, we have done shows called Truth on Politics, where it would be myself and other hosts, and we would have like a rotating cast of different hosts that would do these Truth on Politics special broadcasts. We would do them in the evening. We would do them during election years. We did them in 2024. I actually stopped going because my sentiments are so drastically different than that of my colleagues. I didn't want to argue with them, and I didn't want to debate with them. Not just because our sentiments are different, because I can argue with people that have different views than me. It's just I'm a much more experienced broadcaster than they are, and it wasn't fair.
And you know what? You answered my question, because that's the same thing I feel when I think I heard the last one, and I could feel the tension and stuff in that situation. So I understand that 100%.
All right, thank you, Eddie.
You're welcome.
I appreciate your call. Yeah, I stopped going to the Truth on Politics because what I found is that if there were people participating in the panel, including the moderator, that had a different political viewpoint than me, they would gang up on me. And that's only going to happen once. Like, I'm only going to allow folks that have different viewpoints than me to gang up on me. And I'm not going to, like, fire back and be condescending. I just won't do it because I don't need to. So Marlon, can you hang on? I'm going to take a break, Marlon, because I'm kind of running over on time. So, Marlon, you hang on. We'll come and talk to Marlon on the other side. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. I am looking at mass incarceration 2.0, but I'm going to back it up and I'm going to fortify it, because what I am seeing every single day in the city in which I live, love, work, play, own a house, etc., is falling by the wayside. And as of right now, our only remedy is incarceration. Maybe we can talk about what we can do and how we can invest in future generations so we don't see more of this 10, 20, 30 years from now. But as of right now, if you go into an auto repair shop and they're not fixing your car fast enough, and your answer to that is you want to shoot the person working on your car, then I don't ever want to see you ever again in this society. You should lose all of your privileges for decades. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on August 12th.
Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Pittsburgh Pirates.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh my goodness, third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Construction Business Group. Tune in August 12th at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
Need health care but don't have insurance? City on the Hills Health Clinic offers free medical care, mental health counseling, and dental hygiene services for uninsured and underinsured Milwaukee residents. They're on a mission to end generational poverty in all its forms, and you can be a beneficiary of it. If you've got a heart for Milwaukee and qualify as a Milwaukee resident, take advantage of City on the Hills Health Clinic today. Just visit cityonthehillmke.org. That's cityonthehillmke.org. City on the Hill, hope, healing, and health for our city. Visit City on the Hill today.
Hi, Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here. American Family Insurance can help protect your dream home for whatever comes next. You can live in your own oasis or your own clubhouse. Whatever you choose, get the right coverage. Save up to 23% by bundling home and auto. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI and its operating companies. 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
This is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth for Axe Housing. Are you tired of paying a landlord rent when you should be paying yourself? Do you want to leave a financial legacy, or would you like to have a stable place to call home? Well, it's time for you to start on the path to owning your own home instead of renting. You can work with an Axe Housing coach, and they will teach you how home ownership can be a reality. Axe Housing has helped over 4,000 families in our neighborhoods. Many times your mortgage will be a lot less than what you're paying for rent. As an average Axe family who has been helped pays around $900 per month. No matter what barriers you think you're facing, Axe Housing coaches can assist you right now. An Axe Housing coach will help you create and stick to a plan and a budget and get you ready for home ownership. If you're not dreaming of home ownership by now, you certainly should be. Let's make it a reality with Axe Housing. Get started on a virtual orientation by clicking on axehousing.org. That is ACTS housing.org. Don't let where you are financially right now get in the way of your very bright future of becoming a homeowner. Axe coaches are here to help.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 500 block of West Ring. Adult female, 50s. Physical altercation where victim was jumped by an estimated 20 people and hit with fists and whipped with a gun. Patient is conscious with head trauma. So that individual, I hope they make a full recovery, but they may not. They might be permanently disabled because of that. And I also don't know any details about why. I don't know the ages of the 20 people allegedly that jumped this individual, but it just sounds like, because I remember in 2002, there was an African-American man who I think was a little bit older who was jumped by 20 kids and they ended up killing him. He was on his porch and they killed him. I'll never forget that. Beat him with sticks and all sorts of stuff. They did this to a woman. You can't even defend yourself against a woman, let alone be the offender. Right? Hitting a woman is violence against women, especially if it's a man. I'm assuming this is not a group of 20 women, right? What do you think we're supposed to do with these individuals? And let's be clear, it's too late to go backwards and say, oh, these 20 people need help. They need mental health counseling. Well, they didn't get it. And here is what they did. They hurt somebody. And there are laws that exist. That's why we vote for lawmakers, to make laws to protect us. They violated, let's just say, a number of those laws, and I would say this rises to the case of a felony. And let's just also say, because this is a segregated city, and if I see 500 West Ring, these were not Asian kids. I'm just going to go ahead and assume that. And if they were black kids or people, I don't know the ages of them. Let's say it's black people. And all 20 of them get caught. And this one situation results in 20 or 25 arrests, and 100% of the 20 or 25 people arrested are black, are we going to say that the system of mass incarceration is racist? Because I don't want these people walking around on the streets, and I don't even know what a 50-year-old woman could have done to get jumped by 20 people. Let's talk to Marlon. You're on 1017 The Truth. How are you?
Good, and yourself?
Doing all right. What's on your mind?
Well, I was listening and talking about the mass incarceration thing. I agree with you 100%. People who do wrong should go to jail. I think the other problem is everybody wants us to send people to jail, and we can send people to jail, but then your tax dollars go up. And that's fine, but people can't complain about taxes being too high if we have to build more prisons, more jails. We also have a ton of nonviolent felons, such as people with mental health issues, such as people who do drugs continuously who are in prison as well. I think the number is like $125,000 a year per person that it takes to incarcerate somebody. If you took that $125,000 and applied it to some people who have drug issues and try to stop, you would actually save money. But because people are so hard on criminals or crime, they want everybody to be locked up. Then we're at the point where we're at now, where some of the jails can only have capacity of 400 people, but there's 500 people, or capacity of 2,000, but there's 3,000 in there. Those are all issues that are really, really 100% true. And I agree with you a whole lot. And I have to say, we talked yesterday, I'm a probation agent, but I am a psychology probation agent. There's a lot of them that's criminal justice, and some of them think differently because they're criminal justice, but I'm a psychology guy. So I think differently, and I act differently, and I help people differently. But ultimately, if you continue to do the same things over and over again, and you continue to hurt people, then you don't need to be part of society. And I agree with you 100% on that.
All right. Thank you, Marlon. Appreciate your call. Incarceration should be where there's no ambiguity. If someone has a drug problem, and if the drug problem is the root of their issue, even though it's not, someone who is addicted to drugs, the drugs for them is the solution. The problem is they can't just be with themselves sober. And if they commit crimes that are nonviolent because their issue is drug addiction, you don't treat that person like somebody who walks into an auto repair shop and shoots a mechanic. If we used incarceration for the worst of the worst, because I'm not calling for just lock everybody up all the time. I'm talking about for depraved individuals that are dangerous to themselves and dangerous to society. And maybe while they're in confinement, you can kind of figure out what's wrong with them. You can see if they need medication. You can give them the services that we wish they would have gotten on the outside. And sometimes it works. Sometimes it rehabs people. Sometimes it doesn't. If it doesn't rehab them, well, we just keep them confined. Correction, it costs $43,000 per year to incarcerate a male in the state of Wisconsin, and it costs about $49,000 a year to incarcerate a woman. With juveniles, it's a little bit more expensive because we provide more resources and more programs for juveniles, but it's not, as Marlon stated, $125,000. But ultimately, we're spending in the billions of dollars here in the state of Wisconsin. And I lamented about that on yesterday's program because I'm thinking, if we're spending billions of dollars, shouldn't that equate to our safety? And not really. That's what it costs to house either the depraved or those that broke laws so egregious that confinement is the punishment. It doesn't have anything to do with safety. Safety is probably more about having a good education system, a well-informed democracy, job opportunities, and money. Because if you have all of those things, and having a good family and having stability in your life, et cetera, if you have those things, then being depraved and being violent are usually not as common. Yes, they can still happen, but if you have things going for yourself, you have hope, you have optimism, you have responsibilities, you take on those responsibilities willingly, you have things to look forward to, you have a family, you make a little bit of money, you don't want to screw that up typically. Now, let me be clear, it's some people that still screw that up, but I think that's more about where the safety comes from. If you have a bunch of people that have bigger things to do and more important things to worry about than trying to harm somebody else, that's how you have a safe society. I would like to be around people that have too much to lose if they act stupid. So it's not worth it for them to act stupid and to hurt somebody else or to commit a crime or to act impulsively because they'll lose too much. I want to be around people that dedicated their lives to working hard, being the best person they can be, and they're proud of what they have become, and they don't want to lose that for anybody. I want to be around people that don't get into stupid, petty, nonsensical arguments. I want to be around people that walk away from conflicts that are unnecessary. That's the Sherwin thing. Clearly, I might be alone in all of this, but I think the safety comes from that. And how we build that kind of a society, I think that is the part that we still have a lot of figuring out to do. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back for hour 2.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hello, my name is Cindy, and I'm a rising sophomore and a proud Tiger at Riverside University High School. What I love about Riverside is the coursework that really helps you get ready for college. At Riverside, students can take advanced placement and dual enrollment classes and earn college credits while they are still in high school. I love that Riverside has so many clubs like forensics, student council, robotics, and the chess club. With so many options, there is something for everyone. On Saturday, August 23rd from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., please join us at Riverside for the Truth Family Fest. We will have entertainment, food trucks, and vendors.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the pod, Marcus and Chris talk to Kevin O'Connor from Yahoo Sports. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
Talk to these people in terms of how do I register for this program despite my reservations and my previous experiences of rejection?
Yes, I tell anybody and everybody that you can buy a house. It may take somebody longer than the other person depending on what your circumstances is with your credit and income and affordability, but you can purchase a house. The first step would be is to register for our program. You can come to our office, 7830 West Burleigh Street, or you can give us a call at 414-461-6330, or just go onto our website, hri-wi.org. Register for the first-time home buyer education workshop. That's going to be your first step to home ownership. During that class, you're going to learn everything that you need to know from A to Z, how to get approved for a house, how to look for a house and put an accepted offer, and how to close on a home.
Truth Nation, let us talk our ish for a moment. There is no other station in the country where you get a front row seat to hear from some of the biggest names in politics, pop culture, and sports. People like Grammy Award winner John Legend.
Knowing that fight isn't over, knowing that we've got to stay motivated and stay inspired. Glory was a song that myself and Common wrote. Two brothers from the Midwest, from Chicago and from Springfield, Ohio.
Oscar Award winning actor Don Cheadle.
I know that we're the bright, shiny thing that sometimes gets the attention, but I would say don't listen to celebrities. You don't have to listen to us. Listen to yourself.
And President Donald Trump's son, Don Jr.
When did we have a strong economy? And I don't think anyone with a straight face can say right now. And the reality, when you look at it, it's not even voting for my father. Look at the team that's now surrounding him.
Tap into the award-winning and nationally recognized 1017 The Truth by downloading the Truth app and streaming us live at 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Milwaukee Black Talk. Milwaukee's Black Talk lives here. You are listening to 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, the Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 2 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. I don't think this is a lack of law enforcement problem. A lack of law enforcement problem is, all right, so if you have an entertainment district like Water Street and you need to saturate it with police, and if we don't have enough police to mitigate problems, then that's a lack of law enforcement. But I don't believe that police can be preventative. If somebody is going to do harm to somebody else, a lot of times that's in a private setting where the police wouldn't be allowed anyway. And we can't just have the police monitoring every part and parcel of our society. Like, some of us just have to be better people. We don't want the police everywhere. Now, I think that when you get older and you feel more vulnerable and you feel less safe in a society, you might be okay with more security and more law enforcement. You got to be careful with that, because if you have a larger number of people that subjectively feel unsafe. And that's always what the battle is, because the mayor will tell you Crime is down 3.2%. It's down. If you look at all the categories and if you look at the nuances, I can make data like anybody else say anything. Crime overall could be down, but non-fatal shootings could be up. Like if arson is down 90% and homicides are up 3%, well, then if you average it out, it looks like, quote unquote, crime is down double digits. But if somebody doesn't feel safe, and things that we see in the media can make us feel less safe. Scrolling on social media where only the worst and most egregious violent content gets posted and then becomes a part of our algorithm makes us feel subjectively unsafe. Even though none of these things have ever happened to you, you see them on social media and you think, damn, that could happen to me. But you have to look at what actually has happened to you. If that hasn't happened to you, you can't just assume that it will. And so when people subjectively feel less safe, if somebody from rural Wisconsin is afraid to come to Milwaukee to go to the Morgan Wallen concert because they think that somebody's going to murder and kill them, they subjectively feel less safe. That is when people say, okay, we can have facial recognition. Okay, I want cameras absolutely everywhere in American society so we can monitor all the people. That's where I tend to draw the line. I didn't like the fact that 20 hijackers got on, how many planes did they get on? 3 planes? How many planes was it? Tower 1, Tower 2, Shanksville, and the Pentagon. So 4 planes. 20 hijackers got on 4 planes, and then they hit stuff or whatever. But then for the next 20 years, we got to take our damn shoes off in the airport. For the next 20 years, we got to walk through these damn scanners where they can see our naked bodies at the damn airport. That's what I don't like. Because there's a small number of people that do stuff, all of us are inconvenienced. You know what that ultimately does? It stratifies our society. Because I have a great disdain for people, the small group of people that cause the vast majority of the chaos and the mayhem, because those people change my life without my consent. If people act a fool and we now have more surveillance and more heavy-handed policing, it wasn't anything that we did. It was what they did. And now they have had an influence on our lives. And guess what? We're the ones paying for it. That's where I get very, very upset. Like, we have to do things differently, even though the majority of us haven't even done anything wrong. And then when the people that do the wrong stuff, they go to jail and they got their felonies. Now we got to help them find a job when they get out, because they'll just do it again. They'll commit another crime. So we better baby them and coddle them. Leave them in there. Listen. Okay, look at me. Listen. We pay $43,000 a year to incarcerate a man. We pay $49,000 a year to incarcerate a woman. I don't even see that money. I don't see it. The money is, you know what I mean? Like, the money, it's not like, if we reduce the prison population in Wisconsin by 80%, they're not going to take less taxes from me. They're just going to use the money for something else. It's just right now, that's where a lot of it is allocated. Like, that's the other thing that people have to understand. If we save money, I hear that all the time, oh, we can save money if we had less incarceration. We could save. On paper, yes, but I don't get the money back. They don't say, hey, Sherwin, here's your check of dividends because we have less people incarcerated. Here you go. No, they're not. The legislature is going to take the money that is saved from less incarceration, if we ever get there, and they're just going to allocate it somewhere else. They'll put it in education or something, or they'll put it in snow removal. Let's talk to Allan. I posted a couple of pictures of you and your wife in my Facebook group, Hughes Views, and people really love you too. They do. They think you guys are a great, attractive couple.
We are.
Okay. Congratulations.
You want to make? I didn't look at that. Can I join the group?
I don't know. I probably have you blocked on Facebook because of things that you've said, but if you can find it, yeah, you can join it.
Well, send me an invite.
Don't
be, you know. You're not making fun of her, are you?
No, not at all. You got some very nice. There's some people that said, wow, Allan, you did very well for yourself, and you would agree.
I do. I outkick my coverage, man. I mean, I'm a good-looking guy, but she's dropped that gorgeous. Yeah, that's okay. I mean, but don't, You know.
Nobody's making fun. But a lot of folks are shocked that you married a black lady. That's what the shock, I think,
I told you that. Why would I be lying?
You told me that, but people that have never seen you or her before, they were shocked.
Oh, yeah. You know what shocks people is when we go like to the Hindu station. I'm always by myself, right? I walk in there doing what I do, and they don't see my wife too often. There's one guy, he hates me because he tried to shortchange a young girl. I mean, a kid. And I was watching. I said, "Hey, man, give her her money." I said, "Honey, he owes you some money. Go get your mom." You know, mom was out in the car or something. This guy got livid with me. And I just let him know, hey, what we'll do is I'll call District 4, and they'll come pull your drawer. We'll count your drawer, and then you can take it up with me. But he saw my wife. In fact, the security guard over there at night, we talk a lot. And a couple of weeks ago, he was like, his eyes got wide. He looked, we were coming from going out, right? And, yeah, we live where we live, and it's true. But anyway, I got to tell you, man, I agree with you 100% today. Everything you're saying. As a white dude, I'll tell you this now since it's out there. I got to watch sometimes for white people and black people, you know, who don't like us. So you go up by Janesville, for example. Let's just say you go, you know what's out in Janesville, right? Say we go out to Janesville and we're driving out. There's certain places I'm just not going to go.
They got Klan out there.
There you go. And you think they like me? Oh, my. Come on, man. It's not going to go well. So we don't go. And maybe during the daytime, there's a biker bar when you go to Lake Geneva. You come back. I think it's on 38. Anyway, it's called the Lucky Leprechaun. And we went in there one time. We were both wearing pink. And as we walked in, you could just hear how quiet it got. I mean, it was like an ugly situation. And then she don't always recognize when it's time to leave. Because you can't just walk in a place and leave. You got to have a drink, and you got to let them know who, you know.
No, you don't.
I'm not intimidated.
No, Allan, it's okay to leave.
No, it's not. But anyway, so and I told her, finally, people were staring. You know, when the women start staring, when the white biker chicks who are completely African, anti-black, and they're staring at the men are staring at your wife. The women get them biker chicks. I mean, like the you know what I'm talking about. Not just the guy, a weekend rider, but they don't like us either. But yeah. So it gets to be the situational place. The situational. Where you're at, you have to be aware where you're at all the time. I'm not going to go walking down Center Street in the middle of the night. I live around here, and I do some dumb stuff. Like I'll go outside and take the dogs for a walk maybe, and I don't maybe know a block over who's all over there, what kind of dogs they got or nothing. But that's why you got to do that. And I do talk to everybody. One of my neighbors told me one time, he said it took some getting used to. Because it'd be like 4 in the morning, I'm outside. And I said, hey, how you doing? And after a while, he was like, yeah, at first, but now I realize why you do that. Because I say hi to everybody if I'm outside, no matter who they are.
Well, if you're in your neighborhood where you live, that's different. I caution people that,
but you still do it
from
but you
somewhere
still do it
else that might want to bring their small town friendly culture to an urban area where folks may not be used to it.
They're not. They're not used to me around here, but they got used to it because, when I first come up here, when I first started dating Ty, I'm going to tell you, I wasn't real familiar with stuff, but I worked. I'd been in prison and this and that, but I never worked. So I quit what I was doing. I changed careers 100%, and I became a teacher. And I had to jump through hoops to do it, but I had volunteered somewhere.
How did they allow you to teach as a felon? Teachers can't.
Because I just told you, you have to go through. You can get, if you don't have a sex crime. Now, if you don't have a sex crime, you have to be extremely clear on everything when you apply for your license.
You didn't teach for MPS.
Was so old.
It was not MPS.
I've been in MPS schools as a contract employee.
Correct. But
I passed every background.
Okay. You didn't.
No, I did not work for MPS.
Okay.
No.
All right then.
No, I could though. They want me to. I've gotten phone calls from people who want me to. I know people who are in, who are in the offices up there and such. They know who I am from working with my son. Special ed. But, and they know what I do. Normally what I did, though, for a few years, we funded our own charter school up here because when my son first got expelled, they couldn't expel him because of the IEP. We went around about that. And I said, enough is enough.
Somewhere with this? Because I have a whole bunch of people that are listening.
Oh, yeah.
Like a moral of a story here, and I got to take a break.
Oh, the moral of the story is this. No matter who you are, no matter where you are, keep your head on a swivel and always be aware. You can't trust people. If they start walking up, you're at the gas station, hey, man, don't walk up on me. It's that simple. I can hear you fine from there. I don't have any money. You know, if you give them money one time, they're never going to leave you alone. Never. All right, my friend. Great show.
Okay, thank you very much, Allan. All right.
And I know I'm a handsome guy, but god dang, my wife is good looking. Have a good one, man. Bye-bye.
Allan, we're going to put your picture on our YouTube so people can see you guys.
No, don't be putting me on this. I'm not one where I look like a bum.
No, you don't look like a bum. You guys look great.
Yeah, some of them I do.
People see you in public all the time anyway. It's not like you're a shrinking violet. People see you anyway. Exactly.
They do.
Okay.
They do.
All
they
right.
know me around town.
Okay.
Say hi to the Goik when you see him, man. I'm going to be down there this week to have a tete-a-tete, if you will.
Okay.
Have a look sharp. Maybe I'll stop in your little office and knock on the window and say hello.
Maybe. That'd be
all right, buddy. God bless you.
Okay, then. All right.
It will be. It'll be a beautiful bonding moment. We should have our own show together. Can you imagine the radio? We'd take them to the roof, my friend.
Have a good week.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
All right, then. All right, now. So you've heard him many, many times on my program, not even just here. The first conversation I had with Allan, I'm not kidding y'all, was probably 2012 or 2013. Probably 2013. And I just was fascinated by this guy because I think that he was, I don't know when he was in prison, but he was more recently released from prison when I first had my original conversation with Allan in 2012 or 2013. And I remember looking at Keon while Allan was just talking about his life of being in a white nationalist gang and being in prison. It was just, and he's been calling me a long time. So for those of you that are curious as to what he and his wife look like, Ricky's going to put it on the YouTube. So if you go to youtube.com or open up your YouTube app from your smartphone or other mobile device and search 1017 The Truth, I think you have to have either a Gmail account or your own YouTube account to be able to join. I'm not sure. I know I have both. Most people in the chat have both. But if you're able to go to YouTube and look up 1017 The Truth, you'll be able to see Allan and his wife. He doesn't look like he sounds at all. Let's talk. Who is this? Ricky online too? I don't want to say the wrong name. Okay. Hi, Shay. How are you today?
I'm good. Thanks for taking the call. I want to just give a little input on black and white couples that's doing stuff throughout the community.
Oh.
I myself date a white woman, and
what's that like?
Go to.
Do you love it or do you hate it?
I love it. I myself, you know, I can't speak more positive about it, but that's my own personal preference. But you know, we go places and we do things, and people do give us looks, and you know, nobody has said anything ill to me and or her. So my advice would be, hey man, do you have fun, enjoy the person you with, and just keep it moving.
That's pretty simple advice. I mean, that's should be like that with anybody. Just keep doing what you're doing. Forget what other people say. Do you have, like, trouble or problems? Do people say things? Do you get funny looks?
No, we do get a couple looks, and it's more from the older white women.
Sure.
But nobody has come up to me and said anything, but I will say this. Mm-hmm. If somebody do come up to me and say something, I just look at them and be like, hey, man, just don't put your hands on me. Simple as that. Keep it moving.
And do you guys hang out in Milwaukee? Are you outside of the city? Are you in the suburbs? Are you in a different county? Where do you and your lady friend, is this your wife or your girlfriend?
Girlfriend.
Okay. Where do you guys hang out? Are you in the city or outside of it?
Cedarburg, Thingsville, Milwaukee, Racine, Genesee, Madison, you name it, we go there. We do.
Where do you live?
Cookouts.
Where do you live and where does she live? Do you guys live in Cedarburg?
No. She lives in Racine. I live in Milwaukee.
Okay, all right.
So it's a good thing. Believe me, we get in the Mustang, let the top down. She put her hair in a little ponytail, and we go.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Where do you guys find the most, like, racist treatment? Where do you get the worst stares? In what area? What county? What city? In
her town of Racine.
Racine sucks though. So okay, that makes sense.
It do. But when I take her down to the yacht club, I don't get that because I'm the only black member there, and people be like, "It's all good. Yep. You know, the more the merrier."
That's right. All right. Thank you, Shay. Well, good luck to you and your white lady. I hope you guys are happy.
Thank you, sir.
All right, you're welcome. See, there ain't nothing wrong with it. I don't care. You know how hard it is to find somebody? And to limit yourself? Now, if you're going to date a white, you got to date a particular kind of white. Otherwise, you will be explaining white supremacy more than you will ever be loved by them. Because they're going to say, they're going to say stuff like, are they going to like minimize race because they care for you or they love you? So they're not oftentimes going to be aware and conscious of racial dynamics. It's a political and a revolutionary statement. For a black man in this society to be with a white woman, that is making an incredible statement, even when you don't want it to make one. It makes a statement, even if you just want to enjoy peace and go out to dinner. You are making a revolutionary statement that America has been more fundamentally against than probably anything else. So you just got to be careful and cautious of that. When I was growing up, I had this real big crush on Jessica Fry. I had a crush on her in 8th grade. Jessica Fry had she's white. She had a really strict family. Her dad was in the military. Her dad did not let her date. Dad didn't let her wear makeup. Her dad didn't let her go to social events and go to dances. He's very strict. And that was his only daughter. Oh, I had a crush on Jessica Fry. When we were in the 9th grade, we went to high school. She did go to a dance in high school. And I got a chance to slow dance with Jessica Fry. I'll never forget. We had a DJ in the cafeteria, and it was a dance after a football game, and I got an erection.
You got on that thing?
It was innocent. I was 14 years old, and then she asked me to go. I think in other schools they call them a Sadie Hawkins dance. It's the dance in the wintertime, the formal dance where the girls ask the boys. And we call it snowball, our snowball dance. She said, Sherwin, while we're slow dancing. And I had, a 14-year-old erection can cut diamonds. Because when you're 14, it's
built up.
She said, Sherwin, would you like to go to the snowball dance with me? I said, yes, I would. She's like, good. Well, my dad isn't letting me go, so you can't go either.
That's funny.
By the time we were juniors in high school, Jessica was allowed to date. And we went to a movie. You know where we went? It was a budget theater on 76 and Good Hope Road.
Good times.
I think it was the Destiny Youth Plaza a few years ago. I don't know what the hell it is now.
It's still a school, like Excellence or something like that.
Used to be a movie theater over there. Budget cinema. We went to go see a matinee movie. We went to go see a movie. And I don't know what we saw, but we were damn near the only ones in the movie theater. This is the first time I had gone out on a date with Jessica Fry. I had had a crush on Jessica Fry since I was 14 years old in the 8th grade. Slow dance with her when we were freshmen in high school. Now, I saw her at school every day, but we just couldn't. And we talk on the phone, but we just couldn't do stuff. Well, we finally were able to go out. We went to a movie during the day. You don't get more innocent than that. I do not know what movie we saw, but what happened after that, not only will I never forget it, it haunts me to this day, and I still harbor animosity. And we're talking, this is 30. So we were juniors in high school. My junior year at Brown Deer High School was 1991, 1992. So we're better than 31, 32 years ago. 34 years ago. Group of black girls came in to the theater. The whole theater is empty. Jessica and I sat in the seats to the right. Why we sat over there, I'm not sure. We didn't sit in the middle, but we sat over to the right. I mean, the whole theater is empty. And this group of black girls sat behind us, which, whatever. I was annoyed because they kept talking or whatever. But every so often, I kept hearing, I want to try and mimic the noise. Let me see. I kept hearing. I kept hearing that during the movie. Right? I mean, what the hell is going on? They sat behind us and they were throwing candy at Jessica, at her head. And that was the sound of the candy hitting the floor. And they were laughing and they were giggling. And I looked over at Jessica. She didn't say nothing. She had a single tear coming down her eye. And I lost it. I got livid. And then she and I said, as you can imagine, I called those girls everything but a child of God. But then Jessica and we left. That was my first day with Jessica Fry. She and I did not go out again after that, and I took her home. That has upset me, even 30-something years later, that would happen to her, because she and I, on our first date, went to a movie during the day, and she got treated that way by a group of black girls that should have just been minding their business. Now, I know that's not all black women, but it still informed me about not even the issues with interracial dating, but just how mean and nasty some women can be to other women. Because they didn't throw the candy at me. They knew better than that now, but they threw it at her. And that has had me upset for damn near 35 years. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Milwaukee, it's time to turn the TV off and turn your speakers up so you can hear what the future leaders of the world have to say. Truth Nation, I'm proud to present the 8 Block, powered by City on the Hill and 101.7 The Truth, hosted by me, your boy, Ben Jammin. Every other Saturday at 9 a.m., 8 Milwaukee teams will share stories and laughs that will speak truth to what matters most in their lives.
I'm here to discover different levels about myself.
I'm really here to get my name out there and have a different perspective on life.
So tap in every other Saturday at 9 a.m. Truth Nation, welcome to the 8 Block.
Are you or anyone you know looking for a new job opportunity? Attend the City of Milwaukee Job Fair on Thursday, August 14th from noon to 3 p.m. at 2 locations. Visit us at Jackson Park, Picnic Area 2, located at 3500 West Forest Home Avenue, and at the Basilica of St. Josephat, located at 2333 South 6th Street. Vendors from multiple employment sectors will be present to meet with you and share opportunities for hiring, training, upskilling, and more. We will also feature a live DJ, food, and refreshments while supplies last. Brought to you by Common Council President Jose G. Perez and Alderwoman Jocasta Zamaripa. Sponsored by City of Milwaukee, Milwaukee Common Council, City of Milwaukee Department of Administration, Office of Community Wellness and Safety, Northcott Neighborhood House, Fathers Making Progress, Northwest Side Community Development Corporation, State of Wisconsin DWD, Ross Innovative Employment Solutions, Goodwill Industries of Southeast Wisconsin, UMOS, DCMKE, 30th Street Corridor, Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Milwaukee, Milwaukee County Parks, Greater Milwaukee Urban League, Maximus, and Amplifier.
Maya is always on the move, and so is her money. Buy this here, deposit that there. She and her money are a lot to keep track of. Good thing Maya banks with Landmark Credit Union and uses their amazing mobile app. Maya checks her balance, deposits checks, pays bills, even transfers money between friends. So while Maya is coming and going, she can see her funds coming, going, and, best of all, growing. Landmark Credit Union. Banking made easy. Insured by NCUA.
Are you scrolling through life instead of living it? With US Cellular's US Mode, it's easier than ever to block out distractions and focus on what truly matters, making genuine connections. And now through the 10K Life in US Mode sweepstakes, you could win $10,000 to reconnect with what's most important. Imagine the joy of creating lifelong memories with loved ones on a once-in-a-lifetime journey. Don't miss out. Enter now at giveaway.uscellular.com. No purchase necessary. Sweepstakes runs now to August 31st, 2025. See official contest rules online. Switch to US Mode and live more.
Make your home safer. Get rid of unused household chemicals at MMSD Home Hazmat Drop-Off. It's free to visit a collection center. Get all the info you need at MMSD.com. Milwaukee County residents only, no businesses.
Happy kids heal faster, and that's why Starlight is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids across the U.S. Learn how at starlight.org.
Call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation, please join us for our third annual Truth Family Fest on Saturday, August 23rd from 11 a.m. until 3 at Riverside High School. And of course, admission is absolutely free and a great place to have fun while celebrating with family and friends. There will also be amazing food, great music, and the opportunity to win some big prizes, including backpacks for the kids. So make sure you save the dates for Saturday, August 23rd for our third annual Truth Family Fest at Riverside High School. Truth Family Fest is presented by Crash Course Drivers Education Center, U.S. Cellular, Milwaukee Area Technical College, Landmark Credit Union, U.S. Bank, MPS, Gruber Law Offices, BMO, Big Frog, Educators Credit Union, and Riverside High School. Looking forward to seeing everybody at the Truth Family Fest. I want to read your comment, JD. JD said, I may be out with an Asian on Monday, a Hispanic on Wednesday, and something black or white on Friday. I party and enjoy myself. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
He snapped.
I don't think they understand, Ricky. Women are so good.
Women are beautiful. I love women.
Oh, good. The right ones.
Of course.
The angry, mean, unhappy, nasty, vindictive ones. Y'all go somewhere. But they're so good. Oh, they're so, and I'm
so good.
Amen. You know what it is? Women are nicer to men than they are to other women. They are. And I think that women are more honest. Now, everybody lies. Everybody can lie. But I think what some women tell other women is a version of the truth that they think that their girls want to hear. What women tell us is, Sherwin, I'm going out with so-and-so, I'm hanging out with so-and-so from work, and they'll literally be like, I can't stand her, but I got to hang out with her anyway. Or they feel like some kind of obligation to be a girl's girl. It's weird. Men don't do that. Because with men, it's unspoken. Men kind of keep each other in check because the threat of violence amongst men is always looming. Now, do we exercise it? No. But it's always there. And amongst women, it seems like some, not all, it's competition and pettiness and cattiness. And that's why a lot of women will say, I don't have any female friends. Now, that's a red flag. But I can understand why some women say that, because some women are just mean and nasty. And the verbal abuse and the backhanded compliments, like, whoo! Like you'll hear a woman say something like, I love that for you. That's not a compliment. Just say congratulations. Or another one is, if you like it, I love it. If you hear somebody say, if you like it, I love it, they in fact do not love it. But women are so good. Milwaukee got a lot of good women. I don't know where y'all at or where you're hiding at. The ones of you that say, oh, there's some beautiful. I'm shocked every single day. I've done a little bit of traveling. Now, I haven't traveled internationally. I'd imagine that once I travel internationally, you may never see my black ass ever again. I'm saying I may never come back. But in the places that I've been to in America, I've been to 25 or 30 major cities easily. Milwaukee got some, man, listen. If you're a man and you work on yourself, you stay disciplined, you try to stay in shape, you're motivated, you're driven. If your guiding light, if your mothership is like your career and your business and those things that really help define you, if you focus on that, you don't got to chase women. If you prioritize your purpose over them, never got to chase them. But also, this is something that's unseen that I don't know if women get this because I think our perspectives are different. When men work on themselves, there's a reward for the work that they do on themselves when they improve. Because we know what society expects from us. Sometimes we can achieve it. Sometimes we can get damn close to it. But the reward for a man that works on himself is the attention of other women. I'm not trying to like hurt anybody's feelings with that. Like that's just honest because a lot of women just they pretend like they don't understand us. If a man does a really, really good job of working on his jump shot and gets drafted to the NBA, he's worked really hard. He worked on himself. He worked on his discipline. He worked on his defense. He worked on his long-range, mid-range jump shot. He worked on his game in the paint. The work that he has done on himself, now it's going to get him money. It's going to get him fame. It's going to get him a contract. It's going to get him a shoe deal. It's also going to get him a whole hell of a lot of women. But let's just assume he didn't play basketball and he wasn't in the gym just by the motivation of women. No, it's something he wanted to do. He was working on himself. And with that came additional women. And what do women say that they want? Not all, but some. They want 6 figures, a 6-pack, 6 feet, and at least 6 inches. Well, he has that, and a lot of women want that. And so we wonder why he cannot be faithful to one woman. Because remember, all the work he did on himself, he's getting paid dividends. Some of it is money, some of it is attention, some of it is fame. The rest of it is women. Now, ladies, I get it. I totally understand. I know the kind of man that you want. Tall, funny, smart, motivated, driven, a provider, a protector, and he allows you to be you, right? He's all of those things. He is everything that you need him to be. More importantly, he's everything you need him to be when you need him. When you don't need him, you can push him aside and live your best life, okay? And that is the standard that you have for yourself, and I'm not going to tell you shouldn't have that standard. But other women have that same standard too. So why would that man that has a seemingly unlimited amount of choice of women, why does he want you, and how are you different from all the other women? That's where we as men and women have fundamental disagreements. Ladies, you may decide that's the man that I want. Cool, good. He's got all the features you're looking for. He's got the great personality, sense of humor, whatever you're looking for. How in the hell are you going to make him want you? And I think that you know what some women will do to move themselves ahead in the line. And then when she offers herself to him physically, then wonders why he doesn't want her anymore. Because she knows a bunch of other women may want him, so she's going to do some things to make herself stand out. And she's going to give away too quickly the only thing that is sacred. There's no longer going to be any chase. If you think about it, for a man, that's the end game. That's the finish line. That's the gold medal. That's the blue ribbon, right? And if you provide that to him, and maybe you want to, because you want to do it too, but then don't expect him to go back to the finish line and do all this romantic stuff when you already gave him the prize for finishing the race. Does that make sense to you? All right, I'm going to take a break, come back, read the comments, and see how much trouble I got in from a bunch of lonely, angry women. I also have some stuff here where I asked this fundamental question and I still haven't gotten an answer for it. Are women unhappy being women? Let's talk about that on the other side. You were listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on a Friday edition. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
For over 10 years, Crash Course has helped new drivers thrive, proudly serving Southeast Wisconsin with integrity, innovation, and a commitment to safety. They offer programs for both teens and adults led by state-licensed, safety-focused instructors. With flexible school-based pickup in communities across Southeast Wisconsin, Crash Course makes getting started simple and stress-free. Crash Course, the best choice driving school, trusted by thousands. Visit crashcoursewi.com to enroll today.
The Wisconsin Doulas of Color Collective and Planned Parenthood of Wisconsin are working together to care for you and your whole family before, during, and after pregnancy and through all stages of life. Did you know Black women and birthing people in Wisconsin are 2.5 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related causes? Black Lives Matter. That's why this partnership matters. Visit widocc.org and ppwi.org/healthy families to make an appointment today.
What's poppin', Truth Nation? It's your girl Noni Juice with Tamara Castle from Associated Bank, and this is Making Your Money Work. I am so glad to be joined by Tamara Castle, AVP CRA Mortgage Loan Officer at Associated Bank. Today we will be talking more about first-time homebuyers and giving them some tips and some help. So the very first question I want to ask you is, I want to buy a home, right?
Yes.
Who do I contact first?
So you'll contact me through the website, so Associated Bank /TCastle. And of course, you could always give me a call, 262 888-3135. Text, leave a voicemail. We'll get you guys going.
All right, so that's step one.
Yes.
Now, this might not be step two, but it's definitely a good question that I have. Does Associated Bank have any assistance for first-time home buyers?
Yes, we do. So Associated Bank has different angles on assisting first-time buyers. The first one is we have a gift. So it's not a grant. So it's literally coming from our president to give first-time home buyers assistance with the down payment and closing costs. That's $3,000. So we can use that for, obviously, the down payment and closing costs. You can use it to buy down the rate. And pretty much every customer I have uses those funds for their first time. Because, again, sometimes it's hard to save. It's something that people use as a barrier. So we came up with how can we assist customers. We really can't assist with credit per se, but we can assist with funds. And we don't want funds to stop someone from buying their first house. So we also have another grant called Down Payment Plus. That's $8,000. That can be also layered on top of our $3,000. So a lot of customers get those funds too. We do partner with Housing Resources, which has more funds. So they take care of the home buying education for us, and then we do the mortgage loan, and we connect all those grants together.
This has been Making Your Money Work, brought to you by Associated Bank.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Can you feel it, baby? I can.
It just seems that women are just unhappy with being women. So being a man has its challenges, no doubt about it. And I think that we either accept that as men or we welcome those challenges. But most men love being a man. It's really good, you guys. And you know what? To be totally honest with you, being a man kind of balances out some of the detractors from being black. Because being black can be a burden in this society I'm talking about modern Western American society in the upper Midwest, in Wisconsin, in Milwaukee, in the 21st century, 25 years into the 21st century. Being a man is really good. It is. I wouldn't trade it for anything. And there's options. You know, if I wanted to be something else, I could, and you would all have to accept it. You would have to accept it. But no, being a man is good. Now, it can be tough, though, too. You know, the world can have tremendous expectations on you. You know, you're expected to be all things to all people all the time. We're not allowed to be human sometimes. We're not allowed to show our emotion. If we want to share our emotion with a woman, she sometimes doesn't have the space and the bandwidth for us because we have to be all about her and how she's feeling, whatever. But it just seems to me that women are just unhappy about a lot of things, and they tend to blame men for the things that they are unhappy about. Some of the things that make you unhappy are your bad decisions. I want to share something with you, but I sure don't want to get in trouble. All right, what the hell? So I know a lady, she's a good friend of mine, and she is in her 30s. And she is on her, or at the time was going through her monthly cycle. Like I'm sure she had been for the last, 20 years. She complained about how much she hates getting her period. And that she hates being a woman because she gets her period. She's like disgusted by it and it grosses her out. I'm like, wait a minute. That's like a part of the game. Like that's a part of your natural process. And I'm saying to her, and I'm trying to get a real like deep understanding from her because she's the kind of person I can talk to about anything. And she's like, I don't know. I just think it's disgusting. And I hate it. I absolutely. And then every time she goes and to the bathroom to quote unquote refresh, she comes back, oh, it's so gross. I'm like, how is that? She's like, I hate it. I absolutely despise it. And that blew me away because that That's fundamental to being a woman. Like, that's a part of it. Maybe that's a challenge, right? Like, men have challenges. Sometimes the challenges that we have are seen. Sometimes they're hidden. But I don't think I'd ever heard that before. And then as I'm having a conversation with her, I'm listening to, and maybe it was just her, but all the other complaints that she has as a woman, that she doesn't feel safe around men. Remember that whole thing? If a woman was in the forest, she'd rather be with a bear than a man. You gotta hate being a woman, or do you hate men that much? Or do you blame men for your lack of feeling safe? Because I'm going to tell you what, and I bet you Ricky and Zach would both agree, you give me a choice of who I'm in the woods with, I'm taking a woman every time. Every time. Sherwin, who would you rather be in the woods with? A bear that will literally rip you to shreds, or a woman that will snack on you delightfully? Well, come on. That's easy.
Considering yourself a snack is crazy.
I am. And the prize. I'm both. Like, that wouldn't even be an option for me. Oh, do you want to be in the forest with a ravenous carnivore animal, one of the fiercest predators on planet Earth, or with a lady?
I mean, who wouldn't pick the lady, though?
I don't know. When women say that
people are crazy.
They'd rather be with the bear, I think that is either how difficult it must be to be a woman and also how much they must hate us. But if it is difficult to be a woman, I'm going to read the YouTube comments in just a second. Or if you want to text us at 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. Of the things that women will rate as being difficult or making their lives difficult because they are women, how much are men responsible for that? So in a woman's daily life, and this varies highly, depends on the woman, her situation, where she lives. It depends on her age, her money, her job, her career, her level of education. But of what you may deal with in any particular day, ladies, how much obstacle and headache is because of a man? And you can say stuff like, oh, my boss is a jerk. Yeah, but your boss could also be a woman and be a jerk, so I don't know if you can blame men per se. Some people are just jerks, but like, what specifically about men in modern American society makes life hard, difficult, and unbearable for women? And this conversation started because I was hanging out with one of my friends, and she was disgusted by the fact that she gets her period every month. And I'm like, isn't that typically good news? It means you're not carrying around a baby. She's like, oh, I suppose. But as a man, we never have to think about that kind of stuff. All right, let me see. Mile the Elephant says, oh boy, do not spoil my Friday. Mile, you don't like when we talk about like relationships and women. You don't. He comes here to learn about Trump. Not Really a City Girl says, stable women aren't pressed to get no man unless they're ready to practice the act of procreation. A stable woman has many options for companionship. Do you, though? Because men give you attention doesn't mean that those are good companionship options. I'm also cognizant of this, and maybe this plays into how some women may feel unsafe or unhappy because of men. Statistically, we kill women. It's really horrible. It's really bad. If you adjust for all other causes of death, we kill everything. Animals, each other, but we also kill women, like statistically proven, so I can understand that. But I think it's interesting when a woman thinks, like, oh, I got a bunch of dudes in my DMs. Yeah, but you don't want to talk to any of them. And some of them are slovenly and disgusting and probably really dangerous, but they say that's kind of like a flex. Like, oh, I could have a man, any man I want. No, you can't. Absolutely not. Because if you could, you'd be with him. No woman, let me be clear. A married woman never passes up a good man. Ever. They never do. Are we going to take her? Oh, great. Lisa, who hasn't been on a date since 2018, is on line one. This will be fabulous to talk with. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is 1017 The Truth, Kyle Wallace, and the time is now, Milwaukee. Truth to Power is your platform, and on my show, our community always has a voice. There is no topic that is off limits, and I always give you my authentic opinions on how I feel, because keeping it real is the only way I know how to get down. Listen to Truth to Power with me, Kyle Wallace, every day from noon to 1 p.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on YouTube at 1017 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk.
This is Sherwin Hughes from 1017 The Truth for Axe Housing. Are you tired of paying a landlord rent when you should be paying yourself? Do you want to leave a financial legacy, or would you like to have a stable place to call home? Well, it's time for you to start on the path to owning your own home instead of renting. You can work with an Axe Housing coach, and they will teach you how home ownership can be a reality. Axe Housing has helped over 4,000 families in our neighborhoods. Many times your mortgage will be a lot less than what you're paying for rent. As an average Axe family who has been helped pays around $900 per month. No matter what barriers you think you're facing, Axe Housing coaches can assist you right now. An Axe Housing coach will help you create and stick to a plan and a budget and get you ready for home ownership. If you're not dreaming of home ownership by now, you certainly should be. Let's make it a reality with Axe Housing. Get started on a virtual orientation by clicking on axehousing.org. That is ACTS housing.org. Don't let where you are financially right now get in the way of your very bright future of becoming a homeowner. Axe coaches are here to help.
Wisconsin is as hard-working of a place as you'll ever find. There's a sense of pride, community, and work ethic that's second to none. People here are tough, but even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. At Gruber Law Offices, we won't stop fighting for you and your family. We've been here and will continue to be here for as long as you need us. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Maya is always on the move, and so is her money. Buy this here, deposit that there. She and her money are a lot to keep track of. Good thing Maya banks with Landmark Credit Union and uses their amazing mobile app. Maya checks her balance, deposits checks, pays bills, even transfers money between friends. So while Maya is coming and going, she can see her funds coming, going, and, best of all, growing. Landmark Credit Union. Banking made easy. Insured by NCUA.
This summer, make 3rd Street Market Hall your one-stop, must-stop destination to eat, drink, and play. 3rd Street Market Hall has over 15 locally owned food vendors, a self-serve beer wall featuring 30 Wisconsin breweries, over 50 HD TVs, and happy hour specials all week. The perfect place to work remotely or catch a game between meetings or over lunch, 3rd Street Market Hall is your home away from home or office. Visit 3rdstreetmarkethall.com for menus, events, and more information.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Mao, I'm not sure, but I found this out and it's really, really disturbing. And some of it is because of the pressure that I think young women face to look a certain way and like the things that women do. And it's crazy because when I talk about something like a BBL, which my colleagues this morning spent extensive time talking about, women will say stuff like, well, men get calf implants. Really? They always try to make a comparison and there isn't one. Plastic surgery comes with a risk of death. And what I come to find out is that younger women, I think older women, grow in confidence and they become so much more comfortable with who they are because they see the value in who they are, but only after they've achieved certain milestones in life. They've raised the kids, they got the job, got the career, maybe they've been through a marriage, they learned a lot about themselves, love, life, relationships, they've dealt with tremendous loss. All that builds a maturity and a character that a 22-year-old doesn't have. That 22-year-old, like most women under the age of 30, look in the mirror and don't like what they see. That breaks my heart. I'm being legitimate, I'm being very serious right now, that most young women, they don't see what we see as men. They see their smallest flaws and their tiniest insecurities are amplified, and it's horrible. And this is what our society is doing to women. And it's not just men doing it, it's other women. the insecurity that beautiful women have is astonishing to me. You'll have an old, fat, bald dude that thinks he is the best thing smoking and will go and approach women that are way out of his league. I mean, we look in the mirror and just like, this is what we got. This is what we're working with. Here we go, daddy. Let's go out there and seize the world. We also know that we can offer so many other things than our looks that I don't know if men have the same level of insecurity about our looks. Now, there's men that do. They're very meticulous about their looks. Oh, yeah, every hair has got to be perfect. And we call those men ladies. That's what we call them. But the number of young women, and I was blown away by this, and it hurts my heart that they don't sometimes like what they see when they look in the mirror, and will go to the lengths they'll go to. And also, we value youth. We value youth, and we associate that with beauty and attractiveness in our society. That's why women, sometimes they dye their hair. They got girls that are preteens now that are doing Botox. Y'all know about this? Especially women that are 20s, 30s, they're getting younger and younger and younger because they don't even want the appearance of fine line and wrinkles. And I don't understand the whole thing with the Botox, ladies, because you can't move your face. It's botulinum toxin. It's a poison that comes from cows, and they put it in a needle, and they put it in your face, and then when you get the Botox, you can't even move your face. You can't. Let's talk to Lisa. I only have about 2 minutes, though, Lisa. You're on 101.7 The Truth.
I know you love me and all. You know, you remember that 2018. But anywho, the love is real and strong with you.
The hell are you talking about?
I don't hate nobody. Yeah, you remember the last time I was in a relationship.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, I tell you. Oh, yeah. But anywho, I don't hate men for anything, and I never hated myself. Women, you gotta love yourself. The only thing that I did not like, which I changed, if it's not about you, don't do it for no man. When I got my breast reduction, I love my fiance, but baby, you ain't gotta carry him. You see, you only play with him. I gotta carry him, sleep with him, do everything else with him, and that wasn't cool. So I got tired of him. I cut him off. Come by. So that was the only thing that I changed about myself. What I don't like about men, I don't like when a man is like a transgender or whatever. When he says, well, I'm all woman. I'm serious. That's the only thing I don't like when a man does. I'm a woman. Look here, let me tell you something. See, it's getting me mad.
But Lisa, you know if that's not a body, that's not a man anymore. If they're transgender, then
yes, it is. No, that's a man. I don't care what you say. That's a man. Look, if you're gonna be a transgender, okay, stay in your lane. But don't be saying. And I like the transgenders that I talk to. They know they're a man, but they want to be a woman, and they whatever. That I like them. We can talk. But the ones that got an issue with telling you can't tell them they're a woman, they're more woman than you are. I said, let me tell you something. Just take 1 day just take 1 hour of my menstrual cramps that I used to have. Oh, I bet you blow your head off. I can tell you that much. Because mine wasn't no punk. 7 days. I did 7 days. My menstrual cycle said, no, I ain't playing with you, Lisa. You doing 7. You ain't doing 3. You ain't doing 4.
Did it make you hate being a woman? It must. You over here talking to your menstrual cramps. Every month that did. Every month that did. Because it's just draining so much blood. You have no energy. You just have nothing. Then get there's birth control where you don't even get periods anymore. There's a lot of options.
Baby, birth control. My menstrual cycle said, "Are you funny, Lisa?" That didn't work. The doctors put me on that. That didn't work.
Oh.
What I was going through was, back then they didn't know, but I was going through endometriosis.
Oh, well, there you
fibroids,
go.
They didn't know that.
Okay.
So the body was going through those changes. And like, man, look, we go through so much in our bodies. We really do. From the hurting of the nipples when they're growing in and coming in.
Lisa, so much nipple talk today.
Oh, my goodness. Y'all have no idea.
No,
you want to play around talking about you a woman. I destroy you. Don't make me angry. Don't do that.
Lisa, I'm going to need you. Lisa, hold on. Calm down. I'm going to need you to not pick a fight with transgenders. Do not. pick a fight with them.
Why?
What do you mean, why? Because you're not supposed to. And I got to go now. I told you I only had 3 minutes, and you used your 3 minutes talking about your nipples.
I love you, transgenders, the positive ones. Keep it strong and keep it real. I love you too, Sherwin. You have a great weekend. Bye, Ricky!
Goodbye, Miss Lisa.
And bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Sometimes I wonder who's worse. Because that was Al territory right there. She did. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back for hour 3.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
From the biggest stars to the greatest moments, Behind the Bucks is Bucks history like you've never heard it before. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the new ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
We address people, young boys, as if they're grown when they're not. For me, they're not young men, they're young boys. And I think if we can keep them in that space, I can do a lot more with someone in middle school when I treat them as the boy that they are versus trying to make them men when they're not. And they probably have very few examples of that.
Listen to The Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris every weekday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Are you scrolling through life instead of living it? With US Cellular's US Mode, it's easier than ever to block out distractions and focus on what truly matters, making genuine connections. And now through the 10K Life in US Mode sweepstakes, you could win $10,000 to reconnect with what's most important. Imagine the joy of creating lifelong memories with loved ones on a once-in-a-lifetime journey. Don't miss out. Enter now at giveaway.uscellular.com. No purchase necessary. Sweepstakes runs now to August 31st, 2025. See official contest rules online. Switch to US Mode and live more.
The biggest snowflakes out here have always been the white Republicans who are so gung-ho on protecting the feelings of white kids while they ignore the needs of other kids. If Milwaukee's youth has a problem with fighting, well, white youth have a problem with being destructive and offensive. So it is sad that our government is actively working to de-emphasize educating and uplifting students of color in different backgrounds on college campuses. That emphasis is going to be diminished, and the only kids that will suffer will be our kids. They were willing to hold up the advancement of the state of Wisconsin because they disagree with DEI. What are white Republicans afraid of? Why are they afraid to face the fact that their grandmas and grandpapas were part of a system which purposely held black folks back and failed to give us the access that we deserve? Until these politicians stop ignoring these egregious acts of hate and racial incidents, America can never be great again.
Catch Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace every weekday from noon to 1 p.m. on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app. Breaking news, weather, entertainment, and sports. We have it all here. This is 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 3 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Boy, oh boy, this show is taking a very interesting turn. JD, I want to bring up your comment because I think that it's profound. I've talked about the deaths of despair that are harming young men and is disproportionately hurting middle-aged white men. They are dying from suicide, drug use, drug abuse, alcoholism, et cetera, et cetera. And JD says, young men must not like what they see when they look in the mirror because I said in a previous broadcast that suicide is on the rise in young black men. Men dying from deaths of despair is not because they don't like how they physically look in the mirror. I think society is changing, but men are not. Our role in society has been traditional, and then we come to find out that who we were expected to be became toxic. Now it's toxic masculinity. And it was that masculinity that protected the vulnerable, and now it's become, I don't know, maybe too forceful or too patriarchal or too paternal or too overbearing, and now it's toxic. And some men don't know what their role in the world is anymore. And there are some men who have been so emasculated, they're just basically female versions of men. They're caricatures of men. And I think that impacts men. And also, if men used to depend on industrial employment and we're outsourcing a lot of our industrial employment, like a man can get his pride from what he does for a living, what he produces, and the money that he makes. That shows his ability to take care of himself, his offspring, his woman, etc. And when there is less of that, he may not like what he sees in the mirror internally. He may think he's handsome, but if he's miserable, no job, bank account is empty, and he has to get a drink or two to get through the day, I think that's a little bit of a different situation. What I was speaking about before we ended the previous hour is that the sheer number of young women who most of us men find beautiful. Now, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It is very, very subjective. I also know that the term beauty and calling somebody beautiful is abused and misused. Something that I notice, and I've had a problem with this. If a woman really, truly admires another woman, a woman admires this boss bee. She loves what she stands for. She may love this woman's convictions. She may love this woman's story. She may love this woman's personality, her attitude, her demeanor, right? So if a woman pedestalizes another woman, and let's say for good reason, this is a stellar woman. Maybe it's Hillary Clinton. Maybe it's Kamala Harris, because I know that there were some women that did look up to and appreciate Hillary Clinton or Kamala Harris, because women know uniquely what they have to go through to be recognized, to be respected, to be taken seriously, to be promoted. It's got to be tough for you all. And you may admire another woman because you know she had to go through a whole bunch of hell to get to the place that she is at. Now, this is a Sherwin pet peeve. You may totally disagree with me, and when you guys do disagree with me, you certainly let me know. You may admire all of these incredible qualities about this woman. Her drive, her determination, her motivation, her strength, her perseverance, her character, her charisma. You love all of those things about her, and the highest compliment that you'll pay her is you'll tell her she's beautiful. I never understood that. And here's what's fascinating about that. Women that like other women, you like them as people, will tell a woman who is not beautiful at all by anybody's standards, you'll tell her she's beautiful anyway. Instead of prioritizing all of those other things that you like and admire about her, we're still prioritizing her physical looks. And then men, and this is where conflict sometimes rears its ugly head, a woman may know someone. Okay, fellas, you ever had one of your female friends tell you some mess like, I got a friend for you? Run! Don't, listen, fellas, I need you to, look in my eyes, fellas. If one of your female friends tells you that they know somebody that you should date, and they're going to say, oh my God, she is so beautiful. She might not be physically attractive at all. It's just your female friend either wants to pair this woman up with someone and you just happen to be the unlucky recipient. She wants to pair this woman. Oh, she's so beautiful. She's beautiful. She wants this. She thinks this woman should have a man because of how much this one female friend of yours admires her. But When you tell a man that a woman is beautiful, we're thinking physical looks. We're not thinking, wow, I'll bet she has strong character. No, that's not how our brains are wired. If you tell me that a woman is beautiful, I'm thinking, oh, she's a supermodel. Oh, she can be on the runway in Milan or Paris. She is got movie star looks. And then you meet her and she looked more like Freddie Jackson than Janet Jackson. And then you look at your female friend, you're like, why would you? But she is beautiful. Just take the time to get to know her. And maybe, because you know looks can be fleeting. Most of you have experience with this next thing I'm about to say. You ever see somebody that is astonishingly attractive, like breathtaking? And those people exist. Like they stop people. Look here. She called me off guard yesterday. So I'm leaving the market hall yesterday. And I saw, and just randomly in Milwaukee, especially here at the market hall. Fellas, have y'all noticed that sometimes at the market hall, it'd be some beautiful women walking around here. Some of them walking around looking like they lost. And I'm thinking to myself, I'll be your shepherd. So I'm walking through the market hall yesterday. I'm walking out, going toward the parking structure. And I saw a woman that was just, like, I stopped. She was insanely beautiful. She's just walking around, walking by herself, smiling. She's wearing a little tank top and some white shorts. And so she walked past me, and I was like, wait a minute. I stopped walking. And then I looked back at her because I needed another look. I know that's rude sometimes, but I had to get another look. I had to see if she looked as good going as she did coming, because she's walking right toward me. And I'm like, Lord have mercy. And so I did my little look back. And so when I look back, like 20 other people were also, women too, were looking back at her. And then we're all looking at each other like, damn, y'all see that? Oh, hell yeah, we did. And I didn't say anything to her because, you know, whatever. I'm letting her do whatever she's doing. She was getting some lunch. She was going to this spot right here. What is the Vietnamese place where they sell the banh mi's? She's going to this little Vietnamese joint right here. Okay. Have y'all ever met somebody who is like off the scale attractive, but then you talk to them and they become ugly? They're so physically beautiful, but like they're dumb. They're inarticulate. They can't form a sentence, or they have no substance. They have no depth. That can make somebody really, really, really ugly. And it's a shame because a lot of times that beauty is wasted on dummies. It's also because we put so much priority on attractiveness. If you see somebody that's beautiful, you automatically assume they must be smart. They must be funny. They must be, you know, really charismatic and outgoing. And we make these assumptions just based on the way they look. You got to stop doing that now. I made that mistake. It's like going for a job that pays a lot of money, but the substance and the structure of the work is horrible. Eventually, the money won't matter if you are unhappy doing the job. If you don't like the work and if you don't feel productive, if it's a waste of your time, it's a waste of your effort, it sometimes doesn't matter how much money that you've made. How much money you make at that job. There's a lot of you out there, you make great money, but you hate your job. You would prefer to make less money and to have something that's more fulfilling. Sometimes it is actually better to have someone who is not nearly as attractive. They don't have that high level of visual, physical currency, but they have a tremendous amount of substance. And I told y'all might see me walking around these Milwaukee streets with a 4, but just know she loves me and I love her right back. She good to you, boy. I don't know, some of y'all are rude. Like, oh man, you see Sherwin, he was walking around with a 4. He must have fell off. No, he didn't. Sherwin is getting loved correctly. Come here, Sherwin, let me see your feet. Come here. Yeah. Come here. Did you have a long day doing your 3-hour radio show? Come here, babe. Come here. Come lay on my bosoms. Oh, yeah, okay, baby. I'll lay down. You have a long day? Yes, you did, doing all that talking on the radio. Come here, my big, strong bear that I wouldn't run from in the woods. Come here. And what do? Roar. Oh, yeah, I'm your bear. That's right. Come over here. You hungry, baby? I'm hungry. Yes. You want mama fix you a sandwich? Daddy's hungry. You sit down
kinks,
right
don't
there.
you?
That's not a kink. That's
You got
called
some kinks on you.
That's called. And guess what? I'll die for that woman. Well, it's Sherwin, I'm a little bit late on my rent. Don't worry about the rent. Dun, da, da, da. Mr. Rent Man is here. You love me correctly. You ain't got to worry about nothing. Come over here. Come give me some sugar. Hey, you want another snack? I'm about to go whip up a cheesecake. You gonna whip up a cheesecake? For you, anything. And then she just prances into the kitchen. Comes back 9 minutes later with a whole cheesecake with strawberries on top, and she feeds it to me. I'll die for her.
So why you don't have a 4 right now?
You think that's easy to find?
A 4? Hell yeah.
A 4 that has all of that? Because some 4s use filters on their damn Snapchat and their Facebook, and they think that they're 7s or 8s. You know what was crazy? I saw these pictures because they talked about BBLs this morning. And some women sent in pictures of the plastic surgery that they got to augment their body. And here's what's wild. They still filter their damn photographs. I'm thinking to myself, you spend $10,000, $15,000 on plastic surgery and you still got to put a damn filter on your photograph. The amount of money you spent is still not enough where you got to use digital makeup to still enhance your looks. Like, that's insane to me. And no offense to any of those people. But a 4, you ever see some of these makeup tutorials? I know you've seen them. You guys ever seen these side-by-sides where it looks like 2 totally different women and they put the makeup on and they look, and one is dramatically prettier than the other one? No, it's not. 4s now are told that they can be bad Bs. I don't got to do nothing for no man. He going to do everything for me. Okay, cool. Well, what are you going to do for him? What are you going to sacrifice for him? Nothing. He going to pay my bills. He going to do what I say. If I tell him he need to be home at 9 o'clock, he going to be home at 9 o'clock, and I'm going to go out with my girls, and I'm going to go out on a girls trip. Yeah, that's how. And she's a 4? Hell no. I don't know. Back in the days, 4s was like, I may not be competitive looks-wise, but I can keep a house, clean a house, cook. I can hump real good. Now, a 4 can't. Am I getting in trouble for saying this? Because you got 4s that can't even hump.
Possibly.
Okay. The two of you are not helpful in trying to inform me on when I may be offensive. I'm just speaking from my heart right now, because back in the day, a 4 knew that she had to provide things in other areas to get a man that would take care of her. And guess what? He took care of her.
You're not in trouble possibly from the company, but as far as women and the YouTube, possibly.
I ain't even looked yet. But if the ones that are mad at 4s trying to tell me that men need to carry their weight in a relationship, like you need to carry your weight in life. You got to bring something. And stop saying that you bring in the table. Nobody wants your table. It's got crumbs on it from the last fella. Nobody want that table. Clean that table. I bring the whole table. No, you don't. Oh, good God. Look who it is. Oh, look who it is. I'm actually scared to take this call right now. And it's not Al, for those of you that are thinking. Why don't we do this? I'll take a break, right? I'll come back. I'll have a message for our Black-owned business owners and entrepreneurs, and then I'll take the call on the other side. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Truth Nation! The Wisconsin State Fair is back. This year's State Fair runs from July 31st to August 10th. You know how it goes down at the State Fair. Whether it's the delicious food, fun rides, the competitions, or the music, there's always something for the entire family. And The Truth wants you to enjoy the whole experience, which is why we will be giving away a pair of tickets on both Truth to Power and Jamming with Juice. So make sure to listen for your chance to win tickets so you don't miss your chance to enjoy the Wisconsin State Fair, courtesy of the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Hey, Truth Nation, it's your girl DT from The Truth Unfiltered with DT and Dr. Ken Harris. Now listen, at a critical time, through the Empowerment Small Business Loan Program, Old National Bank provided the resources I needed to sustain my business. Now the process had its challenges, but I was supported, and it was also an invaluable learning experience for future ventures. I am so grateful for the support that helped my business thrive. Old National Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender, all loans subject to approval.
Hey, Drew and Jonathan Scott here. Build a customized renter's policy with American Family Insurance so you can protect your tandem bike on the go. Thief! Oh, he is struggling with that two-seater. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Some exclusions may apply. Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI and its operating companies. 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Summer in Milwaukee is nonstop. Festivals, live music, and fresh city vibes fill the season you already know. From world-famous cultural celebrations to hidden gem street fairs, every neighborhood is a stage, alive with handcrafted traditions, homegrown talent, and world-class entertainment. Music, flavor, culture, whenever you visit, the Cream City is ready to celebrate. This summer, don't just visit. Make sure you experience Milwaukee, the city of festivals.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years from their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee. Their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, at 1017thetruth.com.
The world can be a lonely place when you're just a name without a face. You can disappear without a trace and be
Calling all black-owned business owners and entrepreneurs. Are you looking to share your story and grow your reach? We've teamed up with Associated Bank for our Black-Owned Business Give Back. Each quarter, 4 lucky business owners will win an opportunity to spotlight their brand and journey on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. To sign up for your business spotlight interview, visit blackbusinessgiveback.com. That's blackbusinessgiveback.com. Let's rebuild our community through exposure on the truth. For official contest rules, head to blackbusinessgiveback.com. Associated Bank member, FDIC. Let's talk to. Hello, Bob.
Hello, Sherwin. You're kind of hard on women. You're kind of hard. Let me explain why. I don't want to bleed every month. I'm good. Well, you can. I don't. When the women have breasts, and if they got big breasts, it's hard to get comfortable on the bed sometimes.
Bob, how do you even know? Why are you speaking on behalf of the physical attributes of women? And I'm not being hard on women because they menstruate. You must not have understood what I was saying. I was confused that a woman that I know doesn't like being a woman because she menstruates. I'm not being hard on women. You know what it is? I think you're too soft on them. Because every time you see a woman, you want to give her money. You want to give money to women that aren't even usually nice to you. Don't do that. So you got to stop, Bob. Please.
Plus they have kids. Plus they have kids sometimes, and they gotta work, and they gotta look nice every day for themselves as well as a man. You know, and
Bob, women don't stop. I'm gonna stop you right there. Women, Bob, stop talking. Stop it. Women don't look nice for us. They look nice for themselves, and women look nice to be prettier than other women. They don't look nice for us.
You don't think so? Are you kidding?
The only time a woman will look nice for a man is if she is involved with one, in love with one, or going out with one. But for the most part, she doesn't get up every single day to deal with the world and say, boy, oh boy, I need to look pretty for a bunch of men. Women would rather be in the woods with a bear than with a man. So why would they burden themselves to look good for us? Because they know when it comes to us, they don't even have to do anything to look good.
Rather be with a bear. Now, come on, Sherwin. You know, they got to go 9 months. I don't want to go 9 months to have and then they got to eat
Bob,
right.
That's the choice.
They can't drink. You know, I mean, Sherwin, they go.
So because a woman makes a choice, we have to feel extra sympathy because of a choice that she made?
She's the weaker vessel. What is the power of a man? And what is the?
You can't say she's a weaker vessel. She's a strong vessel.
What is the power of a woman and what is the power of a man? It says it in the Bible.
I don't really.
Did you ever read that?
I don't want to have this conversation. I have a feeling that whatever the Bible says about the power of a woman and the power of a man is so incredibly chauvinistic and misogynistic, it may get both of us in trouble. Even though it's in the Bible, that doesn't mean that it's politically correct in these modern days and times where, let's be clear, Bob, most people don't read the Bible. They don't. And whatever it says, if it's harmful, the Bible probably says stuff about being a good slave. So should we be good slaves? I don't like when people are selective with the Bible. And if the Bible says something, or if there's a chapter or a verse that allows men to demean women and use religion to justify it, then I don't agree with that either. But no, go ahead. I want to hear what you have to say. What's in the Bible, Bob? Tell us, preacher Bob.
You know how you run and then your side hurts? That's the way I'm just walking, and I'm old and my side hurts, and that's why I sometimes, and you have to excuse me. You know, the power of a woman is her hair. The power of a man is his.
If the power of a woman is her hair, it's a lot of bald-headed women out there. Now you trying to say they ain't got no power?
I haven't seen no white women bald-headed. I've seen black women bald-headed, and I just don't like it. They need some hair. Get a wig. Do something. Otherwise,
Bob, you're gonna get me in trouble.
I don't mean to. Woman, you're too hard on women. Somewhat, Sherman, and I'm
You just said that women can't be bald-headed. You ever think about when a woman has cancer and loses her hair to chemotherapy? You're not very nice, Bob. You're the one being hard on women.
That's different.
No, it ain't.
You know, she can
You didn't make any exceptions.
She can still get a wig. I mean, a woman don't look right without no hair. I just can't. They look funny. I can't. It's hard. You know. Keep some hair, man. You know, and my brother's hair is too long. Cut your hair. I can't tell sometimes from the back if they're a woman or a man. You know, cut your hair, man, so I can know that you're a man. I'll talk to you later, Sherman. I'm fussing too much. You know, I got it now. I'll talk to you later.
No, you won't. No, you won't talk to me later. Ronnie Ray said, Bob, it's nap time. It is. Oh, LaRon, you're correct, sir. So you say, so what's the date today? Today is August 8th. Cuffing season starts in 7 weeks? Really? Ooh. You all know that everything changes once the weather begins to cool ever so slightly. You can smell fall in the air. The humidity begins to drop. The leaves show that very first subtle sign of changing colors. all the white women gravitate toward the nearest Starbucks where they can get pumpkin spiced anything. This is how you know the grandest of all seasons is approaching. You must find someone to settle down with for the long, cold winter. See, now everybody's out there living their best lives. They're having hot girl summers, hot boy summers. You're out here flaunting and gallivanting like a bunch of whores and floozies, and I'm talking about the men. But no one wants to be alone during the holidays and all of the wonderful fall activities that you can do. Go for a walk, a nice hike in the forest with the beautiful changing leaves and watching all the little squirrels gather up those nuts. It's going to be a long winter. You got to make sure you have a lot of nuts. And the holidays, of course, are always best spent with somebody else. Cuffing season. The time in which the fat, bald-headed men can get their revenge because, ladies, if you have not landed a fella during the hot girl summer, well, Fat Baldy is waiting for you with a check to pay your rent. Oh, I love cuffing season. It's so good. It's so good.
It tastes so good.
You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Maya is always on the move, and so is her money. Buy this here, deposit that there. She and her money are a lot to keep track of. Good thing Maya banks with Landmark Credit Union and uses their amazing mobile app. Maya checks her balance, deposits checks, pays bills, even transfers money between friends. So while Maya is coming and going, she can see her funds coming, going, and, best of all, growing. Landmark Credit Union. Banking made easy. Insured by NCUA.
At Crash Course, we believe cost shouldn't stand in the way of safe driving. If you're 14 to 19 years old, you may qualify for 100% free driver's ed through Wisconsin's Driver Education Grant Program. That includes the full online course and all required behind-the-wheel lessons at no cost to your family. With convenient school-based pickup through Southeast Wisconsin, getting started is simple. Crash Course, the best choice driving school. Visit crashcoursewi.com to pre-register and hit the road with confidence.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Here is Sherwin Hughes with his truth.
You ever notice how the phrase 9 to 5 sounds just so old school? That's because in 2025, the 9 to 5 is as outdated as a rotary phone. Let's be real. The world has changed, and the way we work has changed with it. The gig economy is booming. Folks are making money on their own terms, driving Ubers, delivering DoorDash, freelancing, and side hustling their way to the bag. And then there's the work-from-home revolution. People are clocking in from their kitchen tables, their favorite coffee shops, or even the beach. Laptops open, pajamas on, productivity up. The virtual office is now the new corner office, and the only commute is from the bed to the desk. Let's not forget about the digital nomads, those bold souls who turn the world into their workplace. They're sending emails from Bali, closing deals in Barcelona, and living life on their own schedule. No time clock, no cubicle, just Wi-Fi and a dream. And 21st century entrepreneurship, well, it's a whole new game. You can launch a business from your phone, build a brand on Instagram, and make more in a week than some folks do in a month without even punching a clock. So who's still working that old 9 to 5 job? People who are resistant to change or maybe just can't adapt. The future belongs to the flexible, the creative, the hustlers who know how to make technology work for them. The 9 to 5, well, that's a museum piece. The real action is happening outside the box, where freedom and opportunity are just a click away.
This has been Truth Takes on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Listen to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Are you scrolling through life instead of living it? With U.S. Cellular's US Mode, it's easier than ever to block out distractions and focus on what truly matters, making genuine connections. And now, through the 10K Life in US Mode sweepstakes, you could win $10,000 to reconnect with what's most important. Imagine the joy of creating lifelong memories with loved ones on a once-in-a-lifetime journey. Do not miss out. Enter now at giveaway.uscellular.com. No purchases necessary. Sweepstakes runs February 14th through August 31st, 2025. For official contest rules, visit switch to US Mode and live more. US Mode or US Mode? Well, it's US Cellular, so maybe it's US Mode. But all right, it's a contest and you can win. So go to wherever I just said. All right. So we're not going to repurpose that audio of Lisa talking about her disdain for transgenders. She would be a TERF. Who is the lady? J.D. Rawlings? What does she do? She wrote books, right? Is that the Lord of the Rings lady or Harry Potter lady? J.D. Rawlings.
I believe that's Harry Potter.
All right. Well, she is a TERF. It's an acronym, and it stands for Trans Exclusionary Radical Feminists. And these are women that feel that transgender women are making a mockery of women that were born biologically and live their lives as cisgender women. Trans exclusionary radical feminists. I don't think that there's anything radical about that. And I brought up the situation where in 2018, Miss Spain was a trans woman. And as a man on the outside looking in, I was like, well, this is unfair because there are cisgender women in the country of Spain that lost their opportunity to represent Spain in the Miss Universe pageant. And they lost to someone who never had a period, who never had menstrual cramps, who never had to deal with some of the inconveniences of being a woman. When Bruce Jenner, when he was an athlete and he won a lot of Olympics, he won many medals and he was on the Wheaties box. When Bruce Jenner became Caitlyn Jenner, he won Woman of the Year. And again, I withheld my commentary when that happened because I don't think that that's not my issue to get involved in. But the number of women that had to go through unfair treatment, discrimination, harassment, sexual abuse, sexual assault, all at the hands of men, and then Caitlyn Jenner never had to deal with any of that, right? Transitions into a woman and then wins Woman of the Year. And so if a biological woman that's cisgender has an issue with a trans, if they have an issue with a transgender woman, I hear them. Like, I can't take a side, obviously. I can look at the flip side of it. If there was a transgender man, so someone that was born biologically a woman and then transitions to a man, I mean, I'm probably not going to watch the game with you. You know what I mean? I'm sure you're probably cool, but, and I say that because, and I don't want to offend anybody, part of how I connect and bond with my friends, my guys, is that we have the experiences of being men our adult lives and then being boys before that. And if somebody transitions, yeah, they could have felt like a boy their whole life, but they didn't live their life as one, nor did the world treat them as if they were male. And that is the difference. Some of it is societal and it's cultural. It's the nurture part. Boys are nurtured differently. And if someone is a transgender man, for a portion of their life, they were nurtured as if they were a biological girl. So I don't think because they transition, they're automatically someone who I can relate to, because I relate most to men that have lived their lives as men and assumed and taken on the responsibilities put uniquely on men's shoulders. But even prior to that, our boyhood is what bonds men together, it seems. All right. The World Happiness Report of 2024 and previous editions analyzed self-reported life satisfaction across countries. The findings show women generally report marginally higher life satisfaction than men in most countries, especially in high-income nations, which I think flies in the face of the conversation I had. I know it was just one woman that I know. She didn't like being a woman because she just didn't like everything that came along with it. But according to the World Happiness Report, women generally report marginally higher life satisfaction than men in most countries, especially in high-income nations. The gender gap in happiness is less than 0.2 of a point on a 10-point scale, so it's negligible at best. In some regions, notably parts of Africa and the Middle East, men report higher rates of happiness, but the global average still favors women. The Gallup World Poll surveys millions of men and women worldwide, and the key findings from the Gallup World Poll: women are more likely to report both positive and negative emotions, higher emotional intensity overall. But on average, women report slightly higher, quote, thriving rates, but also higher rates of stress and worry. All right, how about the OECD Better Life Index? The OECD Better Life Index tracks life satisfaction in the developed world. Women's average life satisfaction scores are slightly higher than men's in most OECD countries. I'd imagine OECD countries are Western countries, us, Western Europe, etc. The differences are usually less than, they're almost none. 0.1 to 0.3 points on a 10-point scale. Academic studies, a meta-analysis and scientific reports found that women report higher subjective well-being than men in most countries, but the gap is narrowing. A 2022 study in PLOS One found that gender differences in happiness are context-dependent and can reverse in countries with lower gender equality. Age and stage is this next category. Younger women, teens and 20s, often report lower happiness than young men, likely due to higher rates of anxiety and depression. But after midlife, women's happiness tends to surpass men's, especially in older age groups. Let's talk. Who is this on line one, Ricky? Who is this? Hello?
Hello. Good morning, Professor. Good morning, good common brands. And good morning to all the good black and white people of the world and America. Hey, Sherwin, what happening?
Wow, what a surprise. People kept bringing you up, Linda. Everybody talking about how much they miss you. We did have... We had to part ways for a little while now, but I guess we're okay now.
Yes. Oh, we was okay then, Sherwin. I knew everything. I understood everything at the time of the conversation. That's why you didn't get me upset. You were sick, and when a person is sick, they don't have a lot of tolerance. So I walked into that.
What you mean?
I admit that. You were sick. You wasn't feeling well. And so I walked into that instead of leave you alone and let you persevere, because you had pushed yourself to get up, come to work while you was not feeling good. So you weren't ready for Linda.
That had been at least 5 or 6 months ago. Linda, did you know that a crazy woman came to my house? Did you hear about that? That a woman who's a listener of the show, she came to the house.
I heard about that.
And I was thinking to myself, Linda, if you was there at the house at the time, you'd have kicked her ass.
I would have kicked her ass, for real.
I know you.
But guess what? I sent a picture to Vanessa. I said, Vanessa, do you know this girl? And because she's trolling me on Facebook, and Vanessa was like, yeah, she's been trolling Sherwin too. I was like, what? Yeah.
So this woman was messing with you too?
Yeah, on my Facebook, and I said, "Are you a Truth Nation?" And I never heard from her again. So that's when I reached out to Vanessa. I sent her a picture of her.
Why everybody messing
But
with
what's
me?
happening? Yes, I see my son walking over here. Where is he going? No, I had called my D because my toilet and everything is going out. Javante, what you doing over here?
Daddy.
I'm just coming from the bank. Hey, so I will see you guys at the Family Truth Fest.
Okay. All right, Linda. Have a good weekend now.
You too. Thank you.
All right, then.
I hope my D is able to do my basement and my bathroom because I hired two different people. I gave somebody $2,000 and I gave a bath fitters $500. But I can get my $500 back from bath fitters. This the other one in Waukesha that wants to Fox Valley. They want to keep my $2,000, but I'm like, I don't know.
All right,
I might have to get a lawyer.
Might have to. All right, then, Linda. Have a good weekend there now. Okay, then.
You too, hon. Thank you.
Right, bye-bye. Clip that. That's the one. All right, I'm going to take a break. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. I'll be back shortly.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Here at the new 101.7 The Truth, we aim to be a staple in Milwaukee's Black community. We are committed to partnering with local organizations and supporting Black-owned businesses. We are proud to call Milwaukee our city and promise to be a positive reflection of our community. We look forward to celebrating Black culture and excellence with you every day as we make history and continue to uplift the voices in our city. Join us for the journey at the new 101.7 The Truth, founded by Gruber Law Offices, Milwaukee Black Talk. Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Escape the city and relax at Lake Lawn Resort in beautiful Delavan, Wisconsin. Enjoy outdoor activities on Delavan Lake. Tee off at the lakeside Majestic Oaks Golf Course or unwind at the award-winning Calidora Spa. With both indoor and outdoor pools, there's fun for the whole family. Take a cruise on the Lake Lawn Queen. Explore stunning shores and historic landmarks and enjoy delicious food and drinks on board. Book your stay today at lakelawnresort.com, where everything is better at the lake.
This is Sherwin Hughes from 101.7 The Truth for Axe Housing. Are you tired of paying a landlord rent when you should be paying yourself? Do you want to leave a financial legacy, or would you like to have a stable place to call home? Well, it's time for you to start on the path to owning your own home instead of renting. You can work with an Axe Housing coach, and they will teach you how home ownership can be a reality. Axe Housing has helped over 4,000 families in our neighborhoods. Many times your mortgage will be a lot less than what you're paying for rent, as an average Axe family who has been helped pays around $900 per month. No matter what barriers you think you're facing, Axe Housing coaches can assist you right now. An Axe Housing coach will help you create and stick to a plan and a budget and get you ready for home ownership. If you're not dreaming of home ownership by now, you certainly should be. Let's make it a reality with Axe Housing. Get started on a virtual orientation by clicking on axhousing.org. That is ACTShousing.org. Don't let where you are financially right now get in the way of your very bright future of becoming a homeowner. Axe coaches are here to help.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Oh, I gotta turn this shit down. Welcome back to the program. Wow, what an eventful day this
I was born 367
Oh.
It's on the Wednesday. Hell to the moon, just like Kuta Ken.
Let's turn that down. I don't want to hear that. You guys know that Shaquille O'Neal came out with a rap album? And I was going to play some of that, but to commemorate Miss Shaq's return to the show. But yeah, Shaq's rap album sucked, so I don't want to play any of it. I was fascinated by a conversation that I heard this morning on Jamming with Juice. And they talked about a body augmentation procedure that a couple of our listeners have had, and they're proud of it. And I don't have any judgment for people. People are going to do what they want to do to look however they want to look. It's a very personal choice. But I wanted to dig a little deeper, and I've always been fascinated by different cultures and their standards of beauty. Because what is beautiful here and in this time may not be the same standard somewhere else. There's a tribe in Africa where the men wear makeup and they present themselves to the women. Are you familiar with this? I don't know the name of the tribe, but if you Google them, it's really weird. They have these ceremonies where the men get all dolled up and they paint their faces and put on makeup, and the men have very white teeth, and they do these really weird like things with their mouth to show their teeth because apparently it's a mating ritual in this ancient African society, and it's the men that put on the makeup to impress the women, and then the women like pick the men based on their attractiveness. So it's highly variable when it comes to different cultures. And I don't want to stereotype, so I oftentimes look to see if there's any information. Is there any evidence? Has there been a study, something scientific with actual data and fact that I can point to that illustrates what kinds of men and in what societies and maybe even in what levels of education or social classes, like what do those men like? There's evolutionary significance to places that had a history of food scarcity, where the people that lived and evolved in those places had to put forth a tremendous amount of energy to be able to find food. And so in cultures that have a history of food being scarce, women who are more voluptuous, have higher body fat, are seen as more attractive because those women who are curvier, thicker, if you will, have the physical means to survive times in which food was scarce. And that became attractive to those men. That actually has continued to evolve in our modern day society. If you come from a culture of poverty or scarcity, your physical attractiveness, it's not in all cases now, and there's a high level of variability in all this, because I don't want you to think because I'm saying it is a one-to-one correlation, but if you come from scarcity of food, you are attracted to women who are more curvy, more voluptuous, and more full-figured because they are much more likely, and the offspring that the women are responsible for feeding and taking care of are much more likely to survive if that woman has more body fat. It just makes sense. This is human evolution. It's how we all got here, because if there were, in fact, places and spaces on planet Earth through our million-year evolution where food was more scarce, the skinny woman's going to starve to death. And that's going to end the lineage of that population, you see. But then you have to wonder, so what kind of, I'm talking about heterosexual, cisgender relationships. I don't know anything about the other types. I'm talking about the actual human biology that is playing a role in our evolution, okay? Here's another important fact about evolution. You know, the way men look, men are generally taller, have more muscles, have broader shoulders. Like men have a physical type. Not, there's variation in that, but the fact that, I think they call it dimorphism. Men are taller than women in most societies in the world. That's because women create men's body types. Does that make sense to you? If I tell you that men look the way they look because women through evolution have wanted men to look the way we look. Also, on the flip side, women look the way they look. Women are usually smaller. And now there's a whole tremendous amount of variation in how women's physical, biological body types can look. But women look the way they look through natural selection because of men. If women throughout history have only reproduced with men that are bigger and taller and stronger, that is why men are, in fact, in most cases, bigger, taller, and stronger. That also is why some women will prefer men that are bigger, have more muscles, and are taller, because women would reproduce with men that had those genetic phenotypes. Just the flip side, men were reproducing with women who are smaller in stature. So the way men look right now on planet Earth has evolutionary significance because that is who women successfully reproduce with, men that have those kinds of genetics. But then it makes me wonder, you see really small, skinny women, and we want to do racial stereotyping sometimes with the types of men that like very small, tiny, skinny women. Well, we don't live on a planet, well, in most countries, where food is scarce. Now food is abundant. In fact, food and the health problems that too much food can cause is killing more people than starvation. You have people that are dying from eating too much and having high cholesterol and high blood pressure and all sorts of other health ailments because we have almost too much food, right? So it's not the original kind of evolution where food was scarce and you had to hunt and you had to gather. So people that had more stored body fat would and could better weather times of scarcity. So now in society, women that are smaller and thinner and are more in shape shows discipline in a society that has an abundance of food. So much of an abundance of food because of how much we produce. Food actually can be a cause of death. 1, wealthier men prefer slimmer women. Numerous studies, especially those comparing Western, wealthier, non-Western, poorer societies, show that men in affluent societies tend to prefer slimmer female bodies, lower body mass index, and lower hip-to-waist ratio. This is often associated with the ideals of youth, health, and social status. Poorer men prefer heavier, curvier women. In less affluent or resource-scarce environments, men are more likely to prefer women with higher body fat, higher BMI, and more pronounced curves. This is seen in many traditional societies and in historical contexts where food scarcity was common. The BBL mimics the body style that men would be attracted to during evolutionary times when food was scarce. To translate that to modern times, BBLs attract poor men. Men that grew up in cultures and societies that are scarce, black men. There is scarcity of resources in our community. Don't we complain all the time about the under-resourcing of our community and the food deserts? Now, in the modern context, you got to put this in kind of an ancient historic context. But if we have evolved to defend ourselves from scarcity, the body type of woman that men will prefer will be one that is more curvy and more voluptuous because that symbolizes more body fat and the ability for her to protect and take care of the offspring when times of food are scarce. There's evolutionary significance. From an evolutionary perspective, body fat in women is a visible indicator of high energy reserves. In environments where food is unpredictable or scarce, a woman with more body fat is seen as more likely to survive periods of famine and more likely to successfully bear and nurse children. This makes higher body fat a marker of fertility and survival, increasing her attractiveness to men in those contexts. Wealth and status signaling. In wealthy societies where food is abundant and obesity is more common, thinness becomes a sign of self-control, becomes a sign of health and higher social status. Slimness is often associated with youth and fertility, but also with the ability to afford healthy food, gym memberships, and leisure time for exercise, traits that signal high status in these environments. And there's actual scientific studies. You got Swami and Tovey in 2005 and 2007. Studies found that men from poorer countries, rural South Africa and Malaysia preferred heavier women, while men from wealthier countries, the UK and the US, preferred slimmer women. Anderson, 1992, cross-cultural research showed that in societies with food insecurity, Plumper women were rated as more attractive. Nelson and Morris in 2005, even within the same culture. Men who are hungry or primed to think about resource scarcity rate heavier women as more attractive. Wealthier men in resource-rich environments prefer slimmer women, likely because thinness signals youth, health, and high social status. Poorer men in resource-scarce environments prefer heavier, curvier women, as body fat signals fertility and the ability to survive food shortages. Evolutionary logic, preferences are, of course, adaptive and shifting based on environmental cues about resource availability and survival. I just find this so incredibly fascinating how the thickness and curviness of a woman does have cultural implications. When I hang out with my white friends, we oftentimes don't have to worry about liking the same women. There are preferences. Now, it varies because there's some white fellas that like some thickums too now. And there's some black fellas that like some itty-bitty tiny skinnies. But the fact that there are body augmentations that mimic the evolution of attractiveness based upon food scarcity is really, really fascinating stuff. Now, that's not to offend anybody that got your BBL. God bless you, and I hope it works out well for you. Thank you for listening. Have yourselves a great, safe weekend. I'll see you next time.
Milwaukee, it's time to turn the TV off and turn your speakers up so you can hear what the future leaders of the world have to